Once again, welcome back, family, to another segment of The Pulse, sponsored by the Family Bloodline Network. And I'll tell you what, I need to share this and thank everybody for this because we are doing, hey, Mickey, almost said her real name. Our viewership is drastically and dramatically increasing. And so I thank everybody for supporting us as we continue to try and shed light on issues and have our discussions and continue to work through things and keep pushing. Definitely appreciate the listening ears and the support. So I just wanted to say that first and foremost. With that being said, as always, I want to start out with just checking in and seeing how everybody is doing. And of course, we will start with you, Lynn.
I'm doing good. Doing good.
Yeah.
I have some opportunities opening up with a mega church here in the Houston area. I won't name the name, but things look promising for me and Stephanie. And other than that, it's just been going through the week. It's hump day.
It is hump day. It is hump day. With it being hump day, let me say this also for a good friend of mine, J.R. Jackson, who has the watch list on YouTube. Absolutely fantastic watch list. He is a part of the Young Turks syndicate, as it were, with Dr. Richie and all those other good folks. And I watch his show I catch it as much as possible. But here lately, it's been just about every day. He comes on at midday, 12 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, and he's doing a bang up job. He's doing a hell of a job putting out information that a lot of people might be missing, and he's putting some great shape to it and understanding to it as well. The texture that he brings to stories is absolutely amazing. So shout out to JR.
All right.
And the watch list. Yeah, absolutely. I'm waiting for Rich to get settled because I know what he's going to say, but it's always worth an ask to see how people are doing.
Yeah, because the second you think he ain't going to say nothing but keep it pushing.
Exactly.
He got
next thing you know, he's got a whirlwind of things happening, and we're hearing a lot. So, Rich, how has your week been so far?
Let's get to it.
There it is. Just in case, though. I have to do it just in case. All right. So as we continue to follow the story of our late nephew, Nolan Wells, we saw today Attorney Benjamin Crump released the second autopsy that was done on him. And I won't spell everything out. We'll get to the particulars, but in the meantime, the question that I have to pose initially to the panel is, are you satisfied with the information you heard? Now I'll start that with you, Lynn.
From the beginning, I've been willing to let the whole thing play out because this is like a few Netflix series that I've seen with twists and turns. And 1 minute you think it's this, the next minute you think it's that. Then here we come with a video. This is the last time anybody saw him, and just going back and forth. I know it's tough to be patient in emotional situations like this, but unfortunately, this is exactly when you have to just be patient and I don't want to say trust the process for a number of reasons, but just let the process play out, and then start to form, what it is you believe. But I will tell you this: there is an individual that has entered the chat who I really don't like. Who the hell is Officer Tate?
I thought you was talking about me for a second. Go ahead.
No, you haven't entered the chat. You've been in the chat. I'm talking about Officer Tatum. Are you familiar with this cat?
Yeah, I saw his video.
I didn't watch his video. I won't watch his videos.
Well, no, not just his video, but his
interview.
I don't think Charlie Kirk has a bigger defender.
Listen,
walking the planet.
Yeah.
Than Officer Tatum.
Okay. Remember, I don't debate with people who have historical amnesia, and I understand his grift, and I don't blame him for getting to the money, but
it's a straight up grift.
That's all it is.
And you know, I could go and get a blue pinstripe suit and a red tie and go live tonight and give people all my cash buckets and make it kill them.
Yeah.
Just saying what they want to hear.
Yep.
Pretending to be a black publican.
Yeah.
That's all I gotta do. That's a money spigot that I could turn on anytime I wanted to in my life. But it'll never happen. Yo.
Even though I agree with you, you got this point. You got it. You got this.
I just wanted to put my disdain for Officer Tatum out there on.
And I join you with that. My problem is I got a disdain for both parties. So, but and it's going to come out tonight. My disdain equally for both parties, and that Officer Tatum. Not to cut you off, man.
No, I'm done.
He had that interview with Warren Hudson.
With the bestie.
And he asked Warren, did you kill Nolan Xavier Wells? Or did you kill Nolan? And then the video jumps to the next question. Video jumps. And then Warren was saying, yeah, we've reached out to the Nolan's family. And then Officer Tatum said that Ben Crump wouldn't answer or wouldn't reach out to the friends of Nolan Xavier Wells. Okay.
Let me say this for the record. There's always a useful tool for every situation.
Okay.
Right? You know, and carpenters carry belts around for a specific reason. Now, what I will say is, I've heard Lynn speak well about the Democratic Party, and I've heard him have his disdain with them as well. And Rich, I've also heard you be very impartial to either side. Right? You have nobody. You dislike them equally.
Personal reasons. Personal.
And it's and I believe it's valid. It might be, people might say that you have a personal bias, but I think it's valid. I think your reasons are valid. You know, looking through. Yeah, absolutely. I think it's absolutely valid. But what I've not seen, and even Wig has his own beliefs, and I respect everybody's belief on the panel. But what I have not seen anybody on this panel do, regardless of where our cloth is cut in this society, be it socially, politically, economically, or anything else, is jeopardize their integrity simply for a buck. And when I hear people doing that, and I recognize it immediately, you know, I'm like you, Lynn. I respect people and trust people until they give me an option or a reason not to. And then I meet them where they are.
Right.
And I've heard him speak about multiple different situations and topics. I've watched a bunch of his different interviews with other people who have gone against what he said and believed. And when I say a very despicable, dishonest, disingenuous, integrity compromised person, that's what I see. And I hate to mar the respect of those who actually have held and hold the badge to a prestigious level. I hate to call him an officer because I have to put him in a bucket of others, right? Unfortunately, because I wouldn't be able to trust him if I saw him handling a situation that I'm involved in, I might as well just get up against the car and put my hands behind my back because I'm guilty.
Look, take his cuffs and put them on.
Yeah, I'll do it for him because I just there's no trust. He makes me lose all faith, trust, and hope in the system listening to him. And again, we're not a monolith. I don't expect for all of us to agree on every different topic. I have a very eclectic taste in music, right? I listen from anything from Brahms to ZZ Top and multiple things in between. I just don't listen to no goddamn bluegrass. I can't stand bluegrass. Another story for another time. But I don't expect our opinions to always meet and be agreeable. I expect that at times our opinions are going to be disagreeable, regardless of the facts that we present on either side. I've not heard one agreeable thing that this man has ever said in public, not one. So anyway, I'll that he's almost to the Stephen Miller level with me. He's almost,
oh no!
Yeah, he's almost at that level.
He's helping someone. If he's helping someone cover their dirty tracks, then it's not unreasonable to say that he is equal.
Absolutely.
Because we don't want to presume that the 3 white boys are guilty. They are innocent until proven guilty.
Yep.
So me, you, and Lynn, we went out to an island with a white girl, a pretty white girl. Let's call her Nicole Brown Simpson. And Nicole didn't make it back. We wouldn't have to worry about a thing. We'd say, hey, she wanted to stay back and holler at Keisha.
Hey, Wanda.
Holler at Keisha, and we don't know what happened. We wouldn't get arrested.
No.
We wouldn't be ridiculed.
For what?
Our names would be out. Our addresses would be dispersed. But we'd have
our social media would still be active. Still posting.
Yeah. This guy.
We wouldn't have no crosses burnt in our front yard. Not to say that the crosses wouldn't be about Christianity, Mr. Glass. I'm done. Go ahead. Because I got a lot to say tonight.
All right, well then let's go. Let's just get back on the question, right? Satisfied? Are you satisfied? And I'll push that to you, Rich. Where are you at?
Can I go to Mr. Wiggs first?
Absolutely. Wig, I don't know if you heard the question that I asked the panel already.
I heard you.
Let me hear what you got.
Well, I'm gonna say that. Well, you say, are we satisfied with what's going on? What has happened so far?
With what you heard with the autopsy results, the second autopsy.
No, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because I was just kind of like listening to the news a little bit, and then it come to say that certain parts of his body wasn't sent to along with him. So what's the purpose for keeping that? If you're trying to get the truth out, you see what I'm saying? And I think I said last time I was on here, I was on vacation last week, so that's another whole nother story. But I say this about the whole thing. It is about the crime, but now it's about the cover up. Now it's about who's willing to put their livelihood on the line to cover up for what these kids did. And we're going to start with the person who did the autopsy for the state. But there's no way. How did the independent autopsy get out before the state get out?
What I'm told is there's a preliminary, and then there's a final. And it looks like the state of Mississippi is waiting for the final, because the final will include toxicology and all that other extra stuff. So right. The initial one was like drowning. The preliminary from Mississippi was like he drowned.
Right, and, but the thing about that is now they're gonna say, well, we can only go off what the state did because the independent didn't get a chance to review everything. So how can they?
Now what
How can
parts? What parts? I missed that part. What parts were
they?
held back?
I think basically the lungs, the
Oh,
throat area,
internal
No,
stuff.
no, just the neck. The neck.
just the neck. Okay, just the neck
The
area.
throat. The throat, yeah.
So you can't get a how do you get a true reading if you don't have all the if you don't have you? It's like land nav for us. If you don't give me all the if you don't give me all the digits, I might end up anywhere.
And so
So
Was there an open casket Monday?
I
no,
don't know.
no. Like I said in that chat,
I remember.
man.
That's why I'm asking the question. I remember your
I'm not-
stipulation.
because I'm not actually. Then when I'm done talking tonight, you're gonna laugh and say, "Yeah, I tried to tell you, Richard." You're gonna laugh, but I try to be patient and wait.
Yeah.
I think it's about the cover up now. To be honest with you, that's what I think.
Well, they say the cover up is always worse than the crime.
And I'm gonna channel my wig tonight, my Mr. Wiggs tonight. I promise you that.
So just to be clear about the parts that were not sent to Dr. Roger Mitchell, who performed the second autopsy, his internal organs, the body was received without organs that had been removed during the state autopsy. That part was common, is what was reiterated by Benjamin Crump during the live presser that he held.
See, I heard him say just the neck. I didn't hear him say the internal organs.
Yeah, no. What he said is that they will remove the internal organs,
right? But they
to
were
conduct different things, but they were retained. I think they were retained, and I'll go back, but I think they were retained for additional examination. I'll go back and look.
I thought he said they were sent, but they had been removed.
Oh,
That's a normal process.
Like sent separately?
No,
Yeah.
they sent with the body, but they're removed out of the body when they sent it. But I
Gotcha.
could be wrong. But that neck, that throat,
Right.
that was not sent.
Yeah. Part of the neck or part of the throat or airway, that's one of the things that Dr. Mitchell specifically reported, that the neck structure had been removed before the independent autopsy. Airway and lungs could not be fully evaluated because the throat and related neck structures were unavailable. Dr. Mitchell said he could not determine whether water had entered the lungs or airway, which is important in evaluation of a drowning, right?
Right.
And I got a lot to say.
Go ahead. Give us a second.
Mr. Wig, you want to add something else so I can jump on, so I can pick it back after Mr. Wig?
No, all I'm saying is that it's the cover up for me. It's bad. It's a tragedy for the young man, but it's the cover up now. That's what it is for me. How many people are going to put their livelihood and their careers on the line for this right here? So that's what I want to see. I want to see how far they're willing to go to get this lie, to get somebody to try and believe this lie. That's what I think.
So I have my write up.
There you go.
And I'll send it to you in the group text.
Yeah.
See, this is the first thing I thought. Lynn said, don't jump, don't react emotionally. Let's find out if the boy accidentally drowned. What we did not know is a cause versus the manner, two separate issues.
Mm-hmm.
So if Lynn took a bat and beat me upside my head and said, I'm tired of you not answering my questions, and beat me upside my head, and then threw me off into the Sacramento River, you would say, well, Richard or Mr. Brown drowned. Well, I can't swim, number one. But how did I get to the water? Because Lynn drugged me down there and threw my ass off into that water, and I drowned.
Right.
So the cause is one thing, but the manner is something different. That's something that everybody should be aware of this. Second thing, you hire Mr. Crump. You send that body to Mr. Mitchell. Mr. Mitchell, you get the body on July 10th or July 11th. And the minute you get this high-profile case and you look at that body, number one, where are the pictures when they first took a picture of that body when it was recovered? You don't have any pictures. Number two, when you saw that throat missing, why didn't you get on the phone right away and say, hey, what's going on here? I need that throat and the rest of these body parts so I can do a thorough investigation. Dr. Stacy Turner, Chief Medical Examiner with a questionable past.
Yeah, that part too. But I don't think that was not done. It wasn't directly
didn't
expressed that he missed that.
Then why didn't Mr. Crump maybe slow down? See, this is where Lynn is right. See, Lynn was just waiting on this. He didn't want to say it. So I'm supporting this dark-skinned brother. This Q dog. Okay. All right. And this is what I get? A person who can't read the autopsy report in the press conference? You couldn't get Dr. Mitchell down here? And then let me tell you what I get really upset about. George Floyd. The whole country was getting ready to erupt. So what did you do? Oh, you went and got that Jewish forensic pathologist, Dr. Biden. And Dr. Biden and his fellow forensic pathologists, they won the day. And they said, no, that man had no health problems. And that won that out of court civil suit for Mr. Crump for a $27 million record-setting civil suit up there in Minneapolis. You got Dr. Biden. He didn't play no games. Okay. Then, this Dr. Biden is so amazing. Remember the OJ? When he went to the OJ case and said all that stuff about Nicole and Mr. Ron Goldman, man, they tried to run that Jewish man out the country. He lost business because of OJ. And so did Dershowitz, and so did another Jewish attorney, Mr. Sheck. But that ain't the killing point on Dr. Biden. Because Epstein's brother said, my brother didn't hang himself in that MCC in New York. So what does he do? He goes get Dr. Biden. And Dr. Biden said, no. That man did not commit suicide. Because those are high-profile situations. I can think of Dr. Biden, and Dr. Henry Lee. Where the hell were those two guys at? Why didn't you call them?
I think the doctor was chosen by Mr. Kaepernick because his organization pays for those. I think.
No, hold on.
I don't know.
No, wait a minute. You may be right. Mr. Kaepernick. Now, we've talked about you on the show, Mr. Kaepernick. I defended your ass. And Lynn said, I don't want to hear about Mr. Kaepernick. Mr. Kaepernick, thank you for paying for the autopsy, but why didn't you go to Dr. Biden? Dr. Biden, OJ, George Floyd, Jeffrey Epstein. Now, when that man talks, people listen.
Well,
I don't know who Dr. Mitchell is.
It also could have been that he wasn't available to conduct the autopsy.
On something this high profile, you find availability. And if Colin Kaepernick says, well, Mr. Biden, his fee is a little high. Oh, his fee's a little high, but you want to stick your chest out and have your name said. No, I don't want to hear all that.
Mm-hmm.
So are you asking him to go broke?
What I'm asking is, if you truly, Mr. Crump, is seeking justice, well, you went to Dr. Biden before. Listen to this. You ain't fighting for a person in one of these other states. You're fighting against the state of Mississippi. You better bring in the most high-powered, you need a dream team. But you didn't do that, Mr. Crump. You claim that you're seeking justice. I can't tell. Every time I turn around, you're telling me about Tyler Perry. I won't go against Terrell Owens because I know Terrell didn't make a whole lot of money in the NFL.
Well,
and he was there front and center.
I will say something. I was going to wait for a little later to address T.O. I appreciate him with assisting with the funds. So just so we all know where I am with this, there has been $125,000 what do you call it? Award. Thank you. Award. Essentially seeking justice for people to come out and talk. And T.O.
for people to come out, give evidence, and lead to a conviction.
Okay, that part too.
Yeah, boy, say all that.
So T.O. donated 25 grand to it, which I appreciate. What I didn't agree with is him mentioning
Bringing Trump into the chat.
Asking Trump for assistance. I don't.
Trump for assistance?
T.O. That was
T.O.
one of the things he said.
Okay.
That was one of the first things he said. You know, he might as well have been spit. What you thinking, Lynn? I saw a thought go
because this trend, I love it. Every time I see the video start this way, I laugh. Where they doing the documentary start off, the person comes and sits down in the chair, and they're like, "Is this my camera? Is this my camera?"
Yeah.
So T.O. did one of those.
Yep.
When he was addressing President Trump, and once again, I laughed because to me those are laughable. But the funniest one, if you haven't seen it, is Morris Chestnut, because his documentary is about why Ricky didn't run in a zigzag.
Mm-hmm.
And the video lasts 10 seconds.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
But it is hilarious.
But hold on. This is where I get quiet for a second.
Gotcha.
I don't mind T.O. doing that because President Trump, has let off other African Americans or pardoned other African Americans for crimes. So that's why Snoop Dogg went and did that performance, because one of the co-founders of Death Row, President Trump had pardoned. And he also pardoned the black woman down in Tennessee who had caught that like life sentence, and he let her out. So I am not mad at Terrell, let me say his name correctly, Terrell Owens. Because, I don't know if Terrell Owens has full capacity if he doesn't suffer from head trauma from playing football. I don't know.
I won't give him that excuse.
Yeah,
I won't give him that excuse. And even when it comes to Trump and the two accounts that you mentioned, do not cover the thousands of ills that he has pushed towards.
Right. But I'm not trying to cover the 1,000. What I'm saying is he has made some exceptions to his normal behavior. And what I'm saying is, if I'm the parents of Nolan Xavier Wells, I want any help. I don't care where it comes from. But let me get back to this Ben Crump, Attorney Crump. Your performance today was dismal. When some white people who are racist are making fun of you, I can't say anything. Because on this particular occasion, they're right. You didn't tell us anything. Death, undetermined. Cause, undetermined. Manner, undetermined. Investigation, preliminary. You had black folks living off of your word, saying you were going to have that independent autopsy to show possibly that there was foul play. We don't have anything.
Well,
Not a damn.
Are you good with the location
Of the body being discovered?
No. Of the press conference.
Okay, Mr. Medeiros, you beat me to the punch once again. So, NAACP, you're doing, I guess, your annual convention. Okay, I respect that.
In Chicago.
But you're talking about, well, we have to kind of hurry up because we got things to do. If you got things to do that's more important than my child I just lost, I don't want my press conference at your convention, period. And it took you 15 to 20 minutes to get the convention started. It's supposed to be at 8 o'clock. You started about 30 minutes late. CP time. So there we go. We perpetuate the stereotype. We can't do our chat on time. And then you spend another 15, between 8 and 8:30, you spend all that time doing the acknowledgments. And you spend about half the time talking about the report that you couldn't read. I can't blame the white man on this.
Well,
I can't.
I will say also, I've read a lot of medical terminology in my day, and I have gotten tongue tied because it's a lot of that crap comes out as Latin, and I speak French.
Mr. Glass.
And listen. In my capacity as a life insurance underwriter, I will admit I have struggled with different medication names. When people ask me, when I have to ask them what prescriptions are you taking.
Wait a minute. I cannot say half the words in the English dictionary. But if I go to represent somebody, talking about I'm seeking justice, and I know I can't control my temper, I can control my emotions, I can't say half the English language, I'm going to go find one of them other lawyers to get your ass up there or better yet, bring the damn doctor down and say, read this and give it to him. The doctor didn't feel it was important enough.
So he should have had this in either, in my opinion, in D.C.
or New York
or in Mississippi.
Oh yeah,
were the parents in Chicago?
Okay. No, yeah, they were there.
So yeah.
My thing is, Dr. Michael Bowden, he would have showed up. So I want people to know that when I say certain things about certain groups and they say, oh, we think Mr. Brown's this, or we think Mr. Brown's that. Oh, no. I'm a straight shooter. If you got the skill and the integrity, I'm going to ride you all the way to heaven. Dr. Bowden should have been the one. Or Dr. Henry Lee, if he still practices, I'm not sure.
Oh, he could have came out of retirement for this.
Ooh, Henry Lee?
Yeah.
Probably. So George Floyd, Epstein, and OJ. I don't know anything else that you need to find out that the guy who did that forensics is the guy you go to when you're fighting the state of Mississippi. This is ridiculous. You had black folks praying that you was going to say something good today, and you didn't say anything, but you was quick to talk about Tyler Perry, helping increase the money. I don't want to hear about Tyler Perry. All I want to hear about is Nolan Wells and his mysterious death. Don't tell me who's funding it. I don't want to hear it.
I will second that notion and that emotion, because I was listening to it, and there were several times I was saying to myself, damn, just get to the information.
Right.
I don't care about the dog and pony show. We can cover these names later. If they really want that recognition, we can cover that later. I'm trying to hear the information.
Hold on, I forgot to say something. Not only because when people say, why'd you go get Trump? Why'd you go get Trump? Trump has done all these high profiles. George Floyd, 27 million, Minneapolis. Okay? Breonna Taylor, remember that sister? 12 million, Louisville. Wait a minute. What about all those poor black folks and white folks in Flint, Michigan with all that water crisis? 641 million settlement. Google, when Google was treating the smart black folks who work for Google, those brilliant black folks, because we ain't getting hired. Those brilliant black folks, 50 million. So Mr. Trump, if you can do all this, but you couldn't go out and get the best forensic pathologist with your money, we didn't need Colin Kaepernick. We didn't need him. You got enough money in your own account. You could have funded that independent autopsy on your own.
So
they say that you just ambulance chasing.
Yeah, what I hear you saying, and I this is what I understand also. What I hear you saying is, instead of everybody getting fame time, we need somebody to not so much get blame time, but give us some actual data to digest.
What I'm saying is this, and I wrote this down. Someone said, well, how many cases has Mr. Trump won and lost?
Yeah.
Well, go to his website. Can't find the answer. Okay? So it appears that his lifelong win-loss trial statistics, I can't say the words, so I'll say numbers, because I admit when I can't say something, numbers are not publicly logged in a single database at his website. But his career numbers highlight a clear operational Don King strategy. Leveraging massive public pressure, media grabbing attention to force governments and corporations to settle out of court. That's all that he does. Does it well. But he ain't trying to come seek no justice.
I believe this group actually anticipated this very event. And the question we were talking about, do we do a third? Or do we just decide, pick through the two bits of beef on the buffet and decide which one we, is less chewy and more flavorful? I don't know, but I doubt that we're going to go in the direction of a third opinion.
Listen to this. Everyone should know this. If you go out and get a personal injury attorney, when they win, 33%. If it has to go to trial, it's going to go up a little bit higher to probably 40. If it goes to an appeals, they can go up to 40 to 50% of the take home. And then your take home, remember now, when you get your take home, you gotta pay taxes about almost
depends. Okay. Depends on where you live. Depends on your state. But yeah, you can. I mean, you should anticipate that. But some settlements do come through
medical settlements where they're tax free.
Some come through tax free. But yeah, I mean that's still something. But yeah, anywhere from a third to a half. I have one that was settled out of court, and it was 40%. So and that was in Pennsylvania. So it depends.
Right, but listen how honest we are, because we're not lawyers. When we speak, we may argue, but we speak with integrity.
Mm-hmm.
When I see Mr. Crump, and I see what he's doing, and then I spoke to somebody. Now she's a woman. She's a beautiful woman. Beautiful brown skin sister. All right. She claims that when she was in such and such, she met him and that he was trying to flirt with all the women and he gave her an uneasy feeling. Now, is she lying? Maybe. She half truthful? Maybe.
Is he married?
No, young.
Because he does. There's another attorney, I forget his name, from FAMU, Florida, very similar to Crump.
Okay.
Who has that same type of flair because Crump got big pockets and he knows it.
Okay.
So he,
Okay. So it hurts my heart that when a person is grieving over their child, it appears that this is her only child. I could be wrong, but I don't hear about no sisters or brothers. So when a woman loses her only child, she's not going to recover from that for the rest of her life.
No.
And I've made a promise to myself. The 4th of July going forward, I'll never celebrate ever again. Now, on a side note, my great-granduncle that was lynched, they tried to lynch him on the 4th of July, actually early in the July 5th in the morning after the 4th. They failed. That's okay. They were successful on July 10th, 1897. They were successful. So when black people say they don't have to celebrate the 4th, I said, well, no, I was kind of with Lynn. I said, no, we don't have to be so black. We can help celebrate the country too. Now, I don't want to celebrate the country. I'm not going to dismiss or demoralize anyone else, white or black, that celebrates the country, or Latino, Asian, whatever. But every time the 4th comes up, I'm going to think about this case.
Yeah. And I don't know if you guys heard how Sam Jackson went in on Argentina.
Oh, I didn't get to watch it, but yeah.
Sam Jackson?
Yeah. Samuel L. Jackson.
Oh, okay.
Basically, he had a campaign of don't root for Argentina because they're a bunch of racists, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
So a politician, a female from Argentina, took offense. And you know what she did? She listed our stuff. She went there. And as I was reading her list of our stuff,
it's bad.
I was like, Sam, what were you thinking about? Calling a spade a spade. Our stuff was like a CVS receipt compared to what he said. And I sat back and just said, she had it broken down. She said 250 years of slavery, the Jim Crow, the segregation, the civil rights. I mean, she just had it. Look. If I'll find it for you, I'll put it in the group chat. But
I thought it was another celebrity. I thought it wasn't Samuel L. Jackson.
No, it was Samuel L. Jackson.
Okay.
Said, and one of his things was they were one of the 3 countries to say that slavery wasn't that bad. Right. We were one of the 3 too.
Yep.
And the chosen people were the other one.
Yeah, the one that the other country was the one that we follow into wars.
The chosen people?
Yeah.
The ones that hijacked the black Hebrews? Oh, I'm sorry. I should have said that tonight.
Yeah. So those three countries.
Yeah.
But it was just hilarious to me how she just went back. She went back, and it wasn't even tit for tat. I mean, she had it laid out for him.
Well,
the
listen,
years, the offenses, all that stuff. And I said, well, damn, which country is more racist?
Wait a minute. I don't want to get sidetracked.
But wouldn't it be almost the same though?
No, because we're older. We're 250.
Yeah, okay, you're right.
We're 250, and back when that 250 was starting, what was our foundation?
Yeah.
Yes.
Our foundation was 3/5 property, no rights,
electoral college created.
Yeah. Right.
Marriage license.
So let me go back and answer a couple of questions. Siblings, yes, he had one sister and 4 brothers.
Nolan Wells.
Yeah.
Nolan Xavier Wells has sisters and brothers.
Yeah.
From Christine.
Yeah. Well, they got different last names, but one sister.
Now, could it be a blend because of Wansley?
It very much well could.
One sister and how many brothers?
4. Yep.
Why haven't we seen them?
I don't want to see them.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to see them.
Do you know what age how he fits in the age? Is he in the middle?
I don't. I can look it up and I'll find it and I'll send it. I'll send it to the chat group. But one sister, I was going to name them. I was going to give their names, but I'd rather keep them out of the.
Now, all right. Well, let me just ask this: do they have Wells and Wansley names, or just Wells names? Because I was thinking that because when the grandfather entered the chat, his last name is Wells.
Okay.
So I'm thinking, like you were thinking, Richard, that it's an only child situation, and the only way that Wells can continue is if she names her son Wells.
Oh, okay.
Because she changed her name to Wansley or Wells Wansley.
Yeah. So
okay.
Out of the 5, 3 have the same last name, not Wells.
Wansley.
It's a different last name. Only 2 have Wansley.
So that there's a third name?
Briscoe.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, these blended families can be.
They can be tricky for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Listen to what I thought I heard him say, when I can understand his English, Mr. Crump. Because listen, I can yell at racist people on Facebook all that I want, but sometimes racists may be right.
So are you saying that Ben Crump needs somebody beside him doing ASL, or does he need like a Keegan? You know what, Lynn? If you lost your child and you could pick Dr. Biden, Dr. Lee, or just Dr. Mitchell, who you picking? I'm gonna pick the best.
So who was that?
You talking about as far as speaking?
No.
He's talking
Who's
about
the best forensic pathologist? If Mr. Wigg, if you lost your child, your baby, it could be any of your children, but we're gonna put the emphasis on the baby. Would you pick Dr. Biden, Dr. Lee, or this Dr. Mitchell?
Well, obviously I'm gonna go for the best, and it definitely ain't gonna be Dr. Mitchell. So,
well, let me go ahead. I'm sorry.
Why are y'all killing Dr. Mitchell?
Listen, I'm not. It appears that he could be African American. I don't know, but here's okay, and that's fine because we want to promote Black excellence. I have no problem with that. But you weren't promoting Black excellence when you got Dr. Biden for George Floyd. You didn't take no chances, and the George Floyd family paid for it. So don't try to say, well, Dr. Biden, his views are just too incredible. Now, I don't want to hear that. So I looked into this really. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Mr. Wick.
Well, I was about to say, Dr. Mitchell has a repertoire and has a litany of accomplishments as a forensic pathologist, as a doctor. He dead to rights, he is amongst the best. He's held prestigious positions within the actual community, right? Between
I've heard they call him Quincy, Dr. Quincy.
Hey,
really?
Yeah, between 1,400 and 2,000 different direct experience with autopsies. So I pulled up a list of his actual accomplishments. Board certified forensic pathologist. He's board certified in anatomic and forensic pathology by the American Board of Pathology. Former chief of medical examiner for Washington, D.C., where he supervised thousands of death investigations and autopsies. Former president of Howard University Hospital and a tenured professor of pathology at Howard University College of Medicine. Current president of the National Medical Association, the nation's oldest and largest organization representing African American physicians. Previously worked as a forensic biologist in the FBI DNA laboratory before becoming a forensic pathologist. He's personally performed well over 1,400 and 2,000 forensic autopsies. He's not something to shake a stick at, right? He is very well versed within his own right. And when dealing with the best of the best, you would have to include him in that.
Sounds like he would be in the conversation.
No. Mr. Glass? Mm-hmm. If one of your children disappeared mysteriously and you call me saying, hey, low on funds, Richard, go out there and get me that pathologist, it ain't gonna be Mr. Mitchell. I'm going right to that man who just happens to mysteriously be Jewish and be one of the best. As a history, one George Floyd, it was because of his independent autopsy with the other pathologist. That's how that decision was won.
So I'm not debating that part, but what I am saying, let's look at the two cases, right? What's the one thing that we can readily identify that one case had over the other? And I'll directly say it. It's the transportation of a body from one place to another with everything being intact to directly see it, right? Remember, by the time Dr. Mitchell had gotten the body, it had already had things that were deteriorating. So he couldn't check things directly, unfortunately. And I think if he would have gotten the same information that the initial forensic pathologist would have had, he would have been able to give direct results, which is why I can't be too terribly dissatisfied with the results that we heard, because he gave everything that he could give with what he had.
Wait a minute. I'm not diminishing his accomplishments. Let me be crystal clear. And I see Liberty Twitcher on. I'm glad he came on because I knew he was coming tonight. I knew he was coming. What I'm simply saying is, with Dr. Michael Baden, who has a lengthy track record, the greatest track record of any forensic pathologist in America, that you go to him for George Floyd. OJ's team went to him. I mean, we should stop there. When we say OJ and his team goes and gets you, we can stop there. But we don't. We don't. We go to George Floyd. And then before we get to George Floyd, we have to first stop at Mr. Epstein. So when you handle them type of situations, and those are just the highest of the high, Dr. Biden has been doing forensics, not trying to give this type of judgment or this type of investigation, just seeking the truth, Mr. Twitcher. So it's not about coming out with the wrong result. It's about coming out with a result by someone who knows what they're doing. Because I can guarantee you this, Dr. Biden had gotten the body without the throat, he would have called immediately and said, look, if you don't send me this, I'm not doing no investigation. So people like Liberty Twitcher are saying, oh, because he didn't give out the type of result you're looking for, you're upset. What I'm saying is, when you have the number one forensic pathologist in the world, and you've gone to him before, Mr. Crump, then why would you not do the same thing on this particular case that's my most highest profile since George Floyd? It is larger than all the others.
So I get what Liberty is saying, right? Uh-huh. He's saying that he focused too much on the facts, right, and not on the story. And I disagree with that. I'm not so much dissatisfied with what was presented, because what was also laid out was what he was working against, right? So we can only take the facts from what we're presented with in front of us. Does that remove the frustration? It doesn't, because it leads to more questions, and it goes back to what Wig began to talk about. Because now, this is where I am with a lot of stuff. After listening to the results with anticipation of further results. I want to know about Katie and her father even more.
So, again, when you have the number one forensic pathologist in the world, Dr. Biden, that's who you go to. So, because what happens is you have people like Liberty Twitcher come on, and then they try to diminish the results. Because remember, see, he's quick to talk about this man who gave out a result of he doesn't know what he's looking at. He can't figure out nothing because he's black. See, that's what Liberty Twitcher doesn't want to tell you. But he wouldn't say that about that Jewish man. See, this is how you catch some of these racist, white people. This is how you catch them. Because if Dr. Biden had said this with his track record, he wouldn't be questioned, nor would it be diminished. So when Liberty Twitcher tries to say, black people are killed all the time, what's the problem? We never have condoned black people being killed by other black people. We have never condoned that. What we've said is, under normal circumstances, when a black person mysteriously dies and there's white people around, it's usually the result of racism, which Liberty Twitcher wants to ignore the history of the state of Mississippi. And he wants to ignore the history of slavery in the United States of America. Now I'm sounding like a Democrat, but this is where the Democrats are right on time, and they're telling you the truth on the foundation of this country and how they want to kind of disrupt the whole foundation and start over again, the democratic socialists. Okay? So it's funny how people are saying this, but we all know that if they said it been Caitlin Clark, if she had to roll out on a boat with me and not come back alive, I'm getting the death penalty within 2 years. If that's in the state of Indiana, oh, you laughing, but I'm telling the truth.
No, and I talked about this either last week or the week before. Like, had it been four black guys, somebody dies, we never hear about this. Hold on. Had it been 4 white guys, one of them dies, we never hear about this. We hear about this because of Benjamin Crump.
Yeah.
That's why we know about this case. So what Liberty Twitcher is saying, if I'm going to be fair and honest, I agree that if it's the racial combination,
right,
and the southern location, and like I said, we are the only folks where I can go get my JD and hang a shingle and start going against any unarmed black person getting shot and killed, and make a mint, suing police departments and governments and so on and so forth. That is the world that we operate in these United States.
Right. So again, Liberty Twitcher, and I'm going to ignore him from this point on because he just wants to come on because he ain't been on in a long time, but he came on specifically tonight to try to get stuff going. I don't even like Benjamin Crump, but see, he ignores what I said about Benjamin Crump. All the things I said about Benjamin Crump and what I didn't like at the very beginning, see, Liberty Twitcher doesn't want to acknowledge that. So there's people like him this one just wants to come on a show and be a distraction. We're going to ignore Liberty Twitcher. At least I'm going to ignore him, ignore every word that he says. Because any person that comes on, he doesn't tell you who he is. He could be a Klansman. He could be an Aryan. He could be working for Stephen Miller. We have never known who Liberty Twitcher is. He's like those 3 white boys.
He could be Uncle Ruckus.
He sure could. But he's like those 3 white boys that went to the island that we don't know the exact names. Now they're saying it was 4 white boys that was on the boat that rode. We don't know. We have a good idea that it's Wyatt, Pyron, and his brother Eric, and Warren Hudson. We think, but we don't know. But yet Warren Hudson goes on and does an interview with your boy Officer Race.
Officer Tatum.
Race Tatum. That's his name, right? Race Tatum.
Right.
Yeah.
No, Officer, I don't even know his first name.
Race. That's his name.
Race?
I'm pretty sure they call him Race Tatum.
But I don't believe that's his government name.
Okay.
Only part of his government name that I know is Tatum. And
right.
The officer part is debatable.
Okay. Well, I think this one guy on Facebook said that he's an officer somewhere in southern Arizona. So
he took over for the sheriff.
No.
What happened?
No,
What
that's
happened to
Maricopa
that?
County. That's in Phoenix. No.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What happened to that character?
I don't know, but
He
He
finally
was
left
fired up at one
office and never
point.
got convicted of no crimes. He couldn't win re-election, and all the things he did, he got away with. That's really that simple. But this thing with Mr. Ben Crump, when you come and say that you're seeking justice, I can't tell. I can't tell with the English that you use. I can't tell with your press conference today. If you have a problem reading the autopsy report, which most people like us would have a problem reading with, then you should have had a medical professional. You could have still grandstanded and led the press conference, because you're going to do that. You got to let everybody know you in charge. Okay, that's fine. We all know that.
And you know what else he could have done? He could have put the names at the end like credits.
Yeah.
Versus doing a roll call in the front and frustrating everybody to get this thing, because you know what everybody's waiting for. And then you going that's not fun. And Mr. Twitcher, I just turned 58, so stuff slides out of my ears. I will correct you on something that you said. We do talk about the loss of life of children that look like us. We just can't have a real expansive conversation on this platform because nobody cares to give us the information and the details of these young Black children and how they have passed away. So we can't really have a detailed discussion about those children, but we do talk about them. Best believe. We talk about Chicago violence on a regular basis. So just because we haven't talked about it here tonight doesn't mean we don't talk about it, and it doesn't mean we don't care, because we do both.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we don't get the detail of, like, Tamir Rice. We talked about Tamir.
Wait a minute.
You know what I know about Tamir? He was 12 years old, waving a plastic gun, and a cop rolled up on him and killed him in 30 seconds. That's all I got.
But wait, hold on. I'm glad you brought that up. Because when people say that blacks kill blacks, you know what they're really saying? That blacks sold other blacks into slavery. See, they're kind of synonymous.
Hey, I'm sorry, real quick. Glass, I'm here. I got to do something real quick. Give me about 10 minutes.
I got you.
Yeah. So, the thing about it, people like Liberty Twitcher, he's never acknowledged when I've gone on here and gone off on Jay-Z and all the rappers saying, if you call each other the N-word and perpetuate negative stereotypes that promotes violence, and we wonder why blacks are killing other blacks. See, he's never heard that. And he'll never acknowledge.
He's heard it. He just said he just acknowledged my commentary.
Oh no, I'm talking about when I've said stuff about.
I know, but he's heard it. I'm sure he's heard it because he's been on here enough, and you say it enough. You say it almost every show. I know how you feel about it.
Okay.
And I,
but the thing about blacks, when black folks are killing other black folks, you only kill people within your near proximity. This is where I give Dr. Eric Michael Dyson his just due.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm going to acknowledge who made that clear. You kill people in your near proximity.
One of my favorite.
Here's the second thing, huh?
He's one of my favorite. I love his books.
And here's the second thing: black people are not killing other black people over racial supremacy. That's not happening. And when some Africans sold other Africans into slavery, it wasn't based off of racial supremacy. It wasn't based off the fact that they thought their white God, was superior to all other gods. See, that's the deeper underlying current. That's why some black folks, and I'm going to say maybe a small group, I'm probably in that small group, where they say, we don't want you playing with white kids or being the only black kid in the group of white kids, and y'all go off on that water somewhere and something go down. We don't trust it. We don't trust that. Particularly in the state of Mississippi. And I don't care if you did grow up in Mississippi and you claim there wasn't no racism. Who are you fooling?
Oh, yeah. And see, what people don't understand is that because we're always told racism, not racism, slavery happened all those years ago, get over it. But you know what happened not too long ago was segregation and Jim Crow. And some households, especially in the South, are not too far removed. I know of living sharecroppers in the South. They are alive today. The woman from Black Wall Street, did she pass away She
I
just
don't know.
passed
If she,
away.
yeah, she did. Yeah, she did.
Yes, but she was the oldest living woman from that tragedy. So what happens is, even though we've moved on, that trauma stays in the family. It's talked about at family reunions. Think about all those Jefferson children. What do they talk about? The Black Jefferson children when they get together, whenever they get together. What are they talking about? The stock market? No, they're talking about the main thing. And the main thing of why they are all together and are a thing is because Thomas Jefferson was raping folks. He was raping his property.
Yeah.
And here we go. So it may burn off one day, but that day is not the day.
My
Because
problem.
if you live in a house with your great grandmother or your great 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 or your great great grandmother, that's still in your house. So your grandmother gonna say, Richard, don't you go nowhere with them white boys, because she got her own historical trauma.
And you know what? Listen,
And that's what people are not thinking about, not considering.
Let me
We
tell you
all
something.
know that nobody today owned black folks today.
But
we
you
all
know
know that.
Hold on, Rich. Hold on. Because I'm wanting to hear what Lynn is saying. Because
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It's
Because I got something to add that's more prevalent.
Oh yeah,
about how-
I'm
about-
almost done.
Okay.
We
I'm
all
sorry.
know the truth, and the truth is the most dangerous information on the planet. That's why people are working hard to ban truthful information from our schools, from our libraries, so that we can have a real authentic discussion about what really went down. But if you know how progress works, the conversation moves in a direction where we can have better, better race relations, because that's what it all comes down to. When I speak on leadership, there are three things: money, sex, and race. If you are a leader in this America, you're going to deal with one or more of those subjects every single day. Military, right?
Mm-hmm.
Every single day. Probably all three of them. Every single day. Corporate America, you're going to be dealing with race, sex, or money every single day. So when somebody says, why you got to bring race into it, race wasn't brought into it. Race was already standing there. Like we were waiting for the press conference to start. Race was already in the front row. Like, are we going to talk about the truth or what we doing today? Race is always there. And when you ignore it, you show me who you are.
Now,
I'm done.
Lynn,
Yes.
I'm gonna give it to you on that one. Okay. You laid that shit out. Let me come back and give you something that you want.
Okay.
A certain percentage, I think about your wife, choose my words, a certain percentage of white America says that black people, all we do is complain about slavery. But you don't tell Jews about complaining about the Holocaust. See, so when they did that march in DC, that peaceful march, those good white folks on January 6, 2021, those peaceful white protesters. See, they were waving the Confederate flag, which is a sign of slavery. You won't see the Nazi flag ever flown in Germany after World War II. The Germans said, we'll allow the concentration camps to remain, so no one can deny that this shat happened. But all this other stuff, Nazi flags and all that, you don't get that freedom of speech because that incites violence.
We not raising them on their state buildings. we not raising them with the German flag. Huh? I feel you on that. I feel you because you're absolutely right.
So, but those are a particular group of white people who claim that they are the children of God, but they're white. And when they scream the Holocaust, and when they tell you Israel isn't going anywhere, they ain't playing. I'm not mad at them. I respect May 15th, 1948. You did what you had to do. You reclaimed Israel, and you'll knock somebody's brains out to keep Israel. How can I talk about you and your imperialistic ways when I'm in a country that does the same thing?
Oh, yeah.
So I can't get mad at Israel for doing whatever trick through Mossad, IDF, or any other trickery, because I got the CIA to remind me to keep my black ass in line.
And Richard, you know what they remind you of, or they behave like a people that were almost exterminated. And I can't have a problem with that.
Yeah.
That's very interesting.
They behave like a people that were almost wiped off the planet.
Well, it's funny you say that because, 12 million black folks, I thought it was 20, Africans, transatlantic slave trade, almost 2 million threw off into the ocean. And then the rest made it to the Americas, America, South America, wherever, North America, South America. And then we went through tragedy since we've been here. So when people talk about, there's always been slavery, see, they always try to diminish that slavery that the African went through coming to the Americas. The rape, they defend the rape, they defend the 3/5 property, they defend a lifetime of slavery by saying Anthony Johnson was the first person in America to be a lifetime slave owner because he was black, so they can diminish us on that. We couldn't read, we couldn't write. Like you said, they could rape us and have children anytime they want. We took on their last names after slavery.
Medeiros,
Brown,
from the Medeiros plantation in Tennessee.
And you can track her so easily. Yeah, but you can track her so easily because you have that unique last name. My black ass Brown from Virginia. Good luck.
Right.
Good luck. So that's what burns me up about this situation with Nolan Xavier Wells. All I've asked for is the truth. I didn't say those 3 innocent white boys were guilty. I didn't prejudge them, but I do prejudge the state of Mississippi. I am guilty of that. And when you send the body to be,
I don't think there's any guilt to be had in that. If I can observe how you behave, I can predict what you're going to do next
in the future.
Yeah, if I can observe how you've behaved, I can predict what you're going to do, and I can predict it with a certain amount of accuracy. Unfortunately, the United States of America, Mississippi, like the South, the Deep South, has behaved in its historical avenues and manners in which we have to continue to wear a lens of predictability and say that if we don't talk about this issue, there'll never be any form of justice or proper information shared, because they've covered up millions of deaths, wrongful murders, as well as cases. And we don't even have to go too far back in history to see these things. These are the late 1900s.
Look, this century. This century.
2000s.
Oh, okay.
This century.
This century, right? There have been young brothers who have been said that they committed suicide by hanging themselves, right? That's within the last 5-10 years. So the best predictor of the future is previous behavior. And if you don't want that type of judgment cast on you, stop behaving in a manner that is indicative of that prediction. that's an easy thing to stop.
Listen, when I was arguing with somebody on Facebook about the past, I said, when you say, that Mississippi doesn't have a racial history, and you can't look at its racial history of the past to take a look at this current situation, what you're basically telling me is then you're against the entire Me Too movement. Because the Me Too movement goes back in the past and says, Richard, you acted a fool with these 13 girls and they never said anything, or 13 women, and now we're going to hang your ass out to dry.
Yep.
So, when I hear people say we don't want to look back in the past, then I say, okay, good. Then you agree with me. We're going to ignore the entire Me Too movement.
Right.
Well, we don't want to do that.
I have a similar retort when people say I don't see color. Once again, I asked him, do you see sex? Do you see disability? Oh yeah, I see somebody in a wheelchair. Oh yeah, I see Susie in the office with her rack out and her church cleavage. Oh yeah, you see those things. You see those things. But you don't see color? Soon as somebody tell me they don't see color, I'm like,
Whew.
I gotta pull out my notebook.
Yeah.
Because that's the behavior. That's the tell. Don't tell me that. Because first of all, that's not true. And it's funny. Stephanie will point out a virtuous feature of another woman from time to time to me, and I'll say, well, I don't look at other women's body parts. And then hold on. Then I gotta duck and dodge because I'm lying. I look at that.
That's a good husband. That's a good husband.
Right. I just can't be. I can't be disrespectful with it.
Right.
But yes, I do. And we have that little joke. But I did want to make this point before we lose it, getting back to the Wells situation. This is how I've kind of framed it out. We either have a situation where the three boys are involved with his death. He died by accidental drowning, or somebody else did something, and it could be attached to Katie McCormick, because that's the sex part, right?
Okay.
We got the race part.
Okay.
We got the sex part, and we got the money part because of Mr. Crump. So we got all this going on, and I don't know if you guys looked at that video that I sent, that clip. It was from a movie, one of my favorite movies, with Gregory Hines and Willem Dafoe. They were police officers in Vietnam, and they had believed with everything in their body that the colonel, played by Scott Glenn, great actor, was guilty of killing a prostitute. So they went up in a helicopter with him. And in the helicopter, he was interrogating Vietnamese prisoners. He ended up throwing them all out the helicopter. So now Gregory Hines and Willem Dafoe looking at him like, this dude is crazy. Now, he's a 06. What's he trying to become, James?
A general. 07.
He trying to get that star on his shoulder.
Yeah.
He told him, he said, you guys accusing me of this has ruined my career. So this is what I'm going to do. If I kill that hooker, I'm going to stay on this helicopter. But if I didn't kill that hooker, I'm getting off this helicopter. And then guess what he did? He jumped. Go in the chat. It's not too far. Okay. He jumped. Now, my point is, once he jumps, Gregory Hines and Willem Dafoe now realize they got to find who?
Both?
The real killer.
Oh, the real killer.
They got to find the real killer. But look what it took for them to get off of the tunnel vision of this colonel and find the real killer. Because the colonel wasn't the real killer. It was somebody else. But you see what it took? You see what he had to do to get them off of his ass.
But
looking in another direction.
But here's the funny thing about this, because you may be right. If the last two people to really see Nolan outside of the three boys, or four boys, we don't even know, was Katie and Javon, then you're right. The path of the killer, if, because I'm not being sued for defending no one. The chance of a foul play may not even be existent, or it may exist. But the problem, to me, the biggest problem is not just because you're white boys. That just throws fire, or throws kerosene on the fire. Nobody leaves without their cell phone. And young kids definitely don't leave without their cell phone. And then so when someone was saying, well, remember when I sent you that text? I may not have. I put up on Facebook about the underage drinking, but in the state of Mississippi, you can be underage between 18 to 20 and drink light wine and beer as long as you have your your parent or guardian's permission.
Same thing in Texas.
Same. Okay. All right.
Oh yeah, because that's what I'm saying, Richard. There are rules, but then every now and again, we make exceptions. And I'll tell you, I've been guilty. And I'll tell you, most of the exceptions I've made in my life have not worked out. Which makes you hungry for what?
Justice?
No, the exception that will work out.
Oh,
that's why I keep making exceptions. I know it ain't gonna work. I'm like, God damn, but it could be. And you know where I've done it the most? Mentoring young brothers.
Okay.
Mentoring young brothers. I'll tell you this. I met a young brother at a Black NBA event, and he asked me to be his mentor, and I agreed. And I brought him over my house, my $1 million house, and he met my wife. And he pulled me to the side and he told me that he was surprised that I was married to a Black woman. And I should have terminated that relationship right then and there.
Yeah.
I knew right there. He told me, but I didn't. We're not friends to this day. But it took a real long time for me to finally, cut the cord. But the lack of success that I have had mentoring young brothers who claim they want to be in rooms and moves and shit and all that stuff with me has been very disappointing across, Philly, DC, Houston. So if another brother walks up to me and says, hey, could you show me the way? Richard, even though I know I shouldn't leave my cell phone on the belt so I can talk to this shorty. But what if my cell phone battery died? What if it died? Leaving it on the boat don't even matter. But now what's right in my crosshairs is Katie. And I've seen a picture of Katie. Maybe, she is not bad looking at all. I can understand a brother decide, you know what, I'm going to kick it with Katie and I'm going to find my way back.
Hold on. And I want you to touch on that to continue on. One quick point.
Yeah, we're gonna swing around to that, but go ahead.
About the Nolan Xavier Wells situation.
Right.
Katie, and I put this on Facebook. I said, that's a pretty white girl. That's the kind of white girl that could be a white man's daughter. Because Nicole Brown Simpson, if that white woman had been fat, overweight, with pimples on her face, they wouldn't care. But that was a pretty, petite, blonde-haired white woman.
Sex.
Oh, okay.
Like I said, you got everything in this bowl. In this bowl in Ocean. What's the name of this place? Ocean Springs. Ocean Springs, Mississippi. You got everything. You got everything in there.
And then when we talk about this press conference, Mr. Trump, you cannot, let me say this correctly, because I want to say pronunciate, but that's not a word. Okay. You cannot pronounce. You cannot enunciate. Hell, I'd rather you come out and say, I can't pronunciate all these words, but I'm going to do the best I can with my Southern dialect. If you had said that, no problem.
Yeah, we click on it. We click on the translator as soon as you say that.
The bar is right here.
We with you.
Okay. He could not do after you had that crazy press conference when you were first hired, and then you came out of the press conference after having the meeting with the DA. This is his words. Well, we just had a meeting. No, not meeting. A meeting.
Meeting.
A meeting.
What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? You don't have meetings?
A meeting.
Hold on. You don't have BITNA meetings? You don't do that? Where you from? They don't do that. They don't have BITNA meetings on the West Coast.
If a rapper comes out of a meeting with somebody and he says, "Man, I just had a meeting," okay, fine.
We gonna sell all these records.
But you a Q dog. You are a Q. I think it's uplift, manhood, and servitude, the three pillars of being a Q dog. And I'm not getting uplifted by you. And that's the tragedy. These two people are putting their trust in God, but also kind of in man to seek, because they truly want justice. If the boy just drowned, if Nolan Xavier Wells just drowned mysteriously, and now in some crazy tide on the north shore of the island, okay. But see, they tried to diminish this boy and said, well, he was drunk and slurring his words. But Warren Hudson, when he did that interview with Officer Tatum, Hudson said, oh, he was doing just fine. So which one is it? We can never get the straight story on anything off this island after 3 or 4:30. Because Katie swore up and down he left her to get back on his boat, which was adjacent to her boat, to leave because his friend said, we got to go. Now that's
so Katie's saying he went with his friends.
That's what Katie said to her sister, Grace McCormick. And I took a picture of that.
Here we go.
I took pictures of this stuff. Because I know that people will change up their story. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I would. Okay.
To stop.
Well, let me. I will say something. I need to go back a bit first. First off, I wanted both of you to continue talking and have your say, because it does absolutely play in to the autopsies and information that we're getting. The reason why we feel the way we feel about this case is summed up in everything that you all were saying, and us getting to the truth. That is the bottom line of it. So everything that you all expressed when you were talking, it was absolutely important to say, because it brings us to where we are. We simply want data. We want the truth, unbiased, unrelenting, as ugly as it may seem, as hurtful as it may be. We simply want the truth. That's not just us, but we want the truth more so for the family. Right? And so if it was an accident, let's say that it was an accident with provable, tangible things coming from both the state physician as well as the second autopsy that was done to help us get off of this cycle, right? When it comes to the missing pieces of the autopsy, the second autopsy, the thing that hasn't been, there's several things that weren't removed from the situation, right? Dr. Mitchell did not rule out foul play. And he couldn't rule out foul play because he didn't have the equation to actually go in and do the math. Now, the initial autopsy that was conducted, they do have that information. They have the equation, but they haven't released anything as of yet.
But remember what I said about when they sent the body? Why didn't they send the original pictures of when they first recovered the body? Because allegedly, Ben Crump said this on today's press conference. And I thought this was very interesting. The United Cajun Navy. And I've had my opinion about them a long time ago, but I guess my ass was wrong. The United Cajun Navy said when they saw the body, that body was face down and he was fully clothed.
What does that even mean? The dude had on swimming trunks.
Hold on.
Right.
You know what?
No, because now guess who's about to enter the chat?
Listen.
Nancy Grace.
Yeah, I listened to her also.
Nancy Grace is coming for us. She coming.
Yeah.
Hold on. And a lot of people don't even know how she was going after OJ like a mug, but now they call her auntie. But I'm gonna leave it alone.
Oh, it's because of the haircut.
But let me also
haircut that shows,
Yeah, but I also want to say this. I do want to say this in regards to you all having your say. I don't invite people to the barbecue that don't belong, including some of us. You will never hear me saying, oh yeah, look, that's my fucking dance. He comes to the barbecue. No, you're not invited for a reason. And when I think about it, both my dad has told me similar things. My mother has told me similar things. I don't put details of our group text message on here because that's a closed space for us.
Yep.
It's not meant for everybody else.
It is not.
And when we begin to include everybody in on certain conversations, well, then we lose the ability to engage in our form of AAVE, right? We lose our ability to converse with each other, to communicate with each other safely.
Yeah.
There
And
are
the key is if I have to change my conversation when you show up, you shouldn't be at the barbecue.
Shouldn't be at the barbecue.
You know?
So I will invite, if Liberty Twitcher is a white brother, Jewish brother, Mexican brother, whatever, if it's a he, if whoever they are, I invite them, right, always onto the platform. But there are certain conversations that I will not engage with them because they don't belong in those conversations.
Oh,
I won't explain or express. I no longer do this. When somebody tries to bring up black on black crime, I'll turn around and walk away from the conversation if I'm not talking to one of us. That's not their space. They don't get that communication. I'm not going to continue to tell them stop using that and not understanding the fullness of that, because they never say black on black crime or murder rates, so on and so forth, and then immediately talk about the exoneration rate. So their math don't math to me. It's insufficient information that people purposely leave out of the conversation because they choose not to actually do what we do, which is bring up the documents that prove 58% of the death row inmates that look like us are exonerated, while the counterparts are still in the low teens. So there are things that I can't converse with them on until they've gone and decided to educate themselves on. I don't have the bandwidth to continue to do that, right? Even with some of us, there are some brothers where I'll get to a certain point, and after listening and talking and sharing ideas, I'll be quiet and I will just listen to what they're saying because I understand where they're trying to go and what they're trying to do. We all evolve at a different rate. We all get to certain places at a different time. And I can't force that on anybody because there are certain things that we have to have in order to get to a different position. We have to have pressure, we have to have stress, but most of all, we have to have experience. And if we don't have that experience, well, then the information that is being pushed out is almost useless, right? When I was in high school, and I'll finish with this. When I was in high school, again, the program that I was under was called the desegregation program. It's oddly enough, right? And I remember I was talking to Maya about this not too long ago. We had a classmate that would code switch at the drop of a dime. And I mean, one minute, he was a North Side kid. It'd be like, yeah, bro, man, blah, 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 blah. Next thing you know, he turn around. Yeah, that's totally awesome. No.
He was talking about the ants in France.
Right. Right.
Walk mainly on the plants.
Mainly on the plants. So if trying to engage with him when he was there at that point in time and say, hey, you don't have to switch up because they are here, would have gone on deaf ears because he had to go through the experience of understanding it doesn't matter what I sound like.
But you know what? I think, they tell you to, I think in the Bible, it tells you to not entertain fools, but yet in the same hand, you have to be able to articulate in controversial conversations up to a certain point, and versus just hearing something that you don't agree with and you just automatically shut down and ignore it. Because if that's the case, you can't pass no job interview. So it's that judgment, knowing when to exercise judgment in all things that you do, good and bad.
Sure. Yeah. And I understand that the comfortability of expressing your specific jargon or dialect in different spaces and groups, because again, not everybody should be privy to who you are. There are certain sections of your personality, your person, your being that you're not supposed to share with everybody. In the Asian community, there are certain parts of that community that we don't get to experience. In the Native American community, there are certain things, there are certain dances that we don't get to witness because we're not a part of that family or that subculture in that stance. And I respect that because not everything is for us. Just like
that's the way.
nothing is for them.
And that's the way rap music, when brothers is calling other brothers the N-word, that should just be within our culture. That never goes outside our culture.
I don't disagree with that. But getting back to Nolan.
Yeah. But look, I want to read this. I want to read this about what he said. I think maybe we should play this little clip. I thought for sure, but I could have heard this wrong, because sometimes our ears hear certain things. He said the Cajun Navy said that Nolan was discovered, and I put July 6, 2026, around 8:45 or 8:46 a.m., fully clothed and face down on the beach at the same location the GPS of the boys asking for boat assistance on July 4th, 2026. There's certain statements that are telling.
Now, did you hear the Cajun Navy came back and said, don't put words in our mouth?
Yeah.
But what happened was this guy, I think this guy said these words to Nancy Grace.
Yes.
And that's how, Benjamin Crump got a hold of those words, because somebody from that organization said that.
But I heard him on a tape, the guy from Cajun Navy say this. That he
No, I believe he said it.
Well, wait. I want to make sure I have the news.
Now, was the tape of him saying it to Nancy or saying it to someone else?
This was days ago.
Okay.
What I remember him saying was the body did not look waterlogged, and I thought he said that body was face down. That I'm pretty clear on. So when you said, Richard, the Sheriff Ledbetter did not say that there wasn't no foul play. It said it looks like, you said you were very critical on this. It looks like there's no foul play, and it looks like an accidental drowning, but the pending investigation. So you went to his exact words that could easily be misconstrued, because I kind of misconstrued it, because everybody else kind of misconstrued it.
Right.
So the exact words of the Navy guy, of the Cajun Navy, United Cajun Navy, I have the video of him saying, but I have to go back through because I keep all these videos.
Right.
To see his exact words. But that's what it appears that Ben Crump was saying today, that I could understand his English.
What he heard. I think he was saying what he heard. And I don't think he heard what you heard. I think he heard what the person talking to Nancy Grace said to her, which was the same thing. For me, I'm like, what is fully clothed? Every video I see him in, he's wearing swim trunks.
Yeah.
Not even flops.
Okay.
Just swim trunks.
Right.
What does fully clothed mean? He had a t-shirt on, sneakers,
but like you said,
boat shoes, what?
The 3 boys or 4 boys, allegedly 3 boys said, Nolan says, I'm staying to kick it with Katie. Katie is saying through her sister Grace, y'all talk. I'm going to find this picture, and I'm going to read you the exact Facebook post. I don't have it date stamped. For y'all jumping at me about that. I don't have it date stamped. But let me go to this picture of Katie's sister Grace.
Yeah. And so while you do that, I do want to mention the one thing that Dr. Mitchell's report did highlight, and that was the red material on the back of the cranium.
His head?
Yeah, on the back of his head that he couldn't identify. So there's also a video that's circulating showing Nolan on another boat. And apparently, unless I got this information wrong, that was the boat that Katie was on. It shows him reaching into a cooler.
Yeah, where he's bent over at the back of the boat with his swim trunks on. Yeah, that's supposed to be the last video taken of him before he passed away. And
so I'm reaching into my inner wig, as it were, because that is the person of interest, in my opinion, and not just her, but her father as well.
Was the father on the boat?
Yes. If you look at that video, unless I saw it wrong, and it might not have been her father, but there was an adult male on the boat as well, an adult white male on the boat. And
look, sugar daddy. Is that what you're going with this? Are you going the sugar daddy route with this?
No, I'm not going the sugar daddy route with this. But where I am going is understanding the history of Mississippi and the disdain that a lot of that state has on interracial couples, and this black kid being on a boat pitching game to his daughter in front of his face, that may not have gone over so well. That may not have gone over so well. And it's not uncommon for an angry white male or men to commit atrocities against black men because of an attraction between a white woman and a black male. Now, again, I hope I'm wrong, because at the end of the day, I would prefer for them to say, listen, there was an accident and it was covered up out of fear. Somebody still has to be held to account, right? But that's more digestible and palatable for not just Black Americans, but America in general, because it kind of eases a racial tension that we cannot seem to get ourselves away from. And so my conspiracy theory is beginning to lean towards the interaction between Katie, Nolan, and the other passengers of that boat after everyone began to leave. Because maybe it's possible that he did stay back with Katie, and maybe Katie left. He was on with the passengers as they went somewhere else, because there's records showing that the time that the body was found in the same place that the boat that he was on with his friends called into the Coast Guard because their bilge pump began to stop after three, right?
That's
so
crazy.
It's timelines are a little tricky, but the boat was in the same area that the body was found the day prior, and Nolan was last seen alive on that video in swimming trunks, reaching in that cooler, reaching down.
For what type of beverage was he reaching?
Hey, they were drinking. They were
wine cooler. Look, a wine cooler. Was he reaching for a wine cooler?
Probably not. But hey, I'm just that's my conspiracy theory. That's my opinion. And just like everybody else, we have a right to our own opinions and conspiracies.
So here's the picture of July 10th when I saved it. This is Gracie McCormick. Katie had a conversation and assumed that Nolan was getting to get on the boat. He came out, and then it cuts off. Katie made it home because she was on another boat and with different people. Katie was safe because my brother and sister-in-law went and got her. Katie assumed the friends telling him to get on the boat wouldn't have left him. Let's go back for a second. Katie was safe because my brother and sister-in-law went and got her. Now, this great Gracie McCormick is Katie's sister.
Yeah,
so it should have said Katie was safe because our brother, but she says my brother. All right. Katie assumed the friends telling him to get on the boat wouldn't have left him. Me and my family have talked, called, and are sending up prayers to bring Nolan home. Okay? I'm going to read that to you again. Me and my family have talked, called, and are sending up prayers to bring Nolan home. So I guess this is Gracie McCormick. We have given all the answers we can give to his mom and authorities. I don't ever remember Christine Wansley saying that she had talked to Katie McCormick's sister, Gracie McCormick. But some people have said that Christine and Elmore know more than they're letting on, and they're holding back information.
Well, they would have to at this point. I think it would be wise for them to maintain a certain amount of information to be released for litigious strategic purposes, as well as for the sake of not giving too much information to the public that isn't sorted out just yet. Wig, I saw you come off mute for a second. What were you about to say?
Particular state that is actually
give me 1 second, Glass.
conservative,
He listening to something.
Was that Nancy Grace?
But
Was that Nancy?
But the bottom line is today's press conference did not inspire or provide hope. And when me and Lynn are agreeing, that's not a good sign. It's not a good sign.
No, that's a great sign.
It's a great sign. I think
That's
it
a
is.
great sign. When two intelligent brothers are in agreement, that's a great sign. And what's happening is this is why I took the position I took out the gate, because these types of things are built to drag on.
Yeah,
they're built that way, and so an inconclusive autopsy finding at this press conference is right on script, as far as I'm concerned. I don't expect this to be finished, working quarters before the end of the third quarter. I expect this to drip into possibly the fall.
But let me tell you why I'm so pissed at Ben Crump.
Mm-hmm.
You come out of the press conference with the DA. You're actually holding hands with Christine Wansley, and then her husband's holding her hand on the other side. I'm sorry, you ain't holding my wife's hand. unless you my cousin, you may be Mr. Glass, maybe Lynn, but you ain't holding my woman's hand. Okay? Then you say that y'all, we just had a meeting. We're gathering all the evidence. We're gathering all the evidence, and then the DA, she's gonna, give it to the grand jury. First of all, you don't need a grand jury indictment to make an arrest. That's the first thing. Mr. Crump, say that and stop misleading black folks. Because there ain't no guarantee with the grand jury indictment that you're going to find 12 out of 15, 20, or 25 good Mississippians, and 90% of them are going to be white folks. Is going to say, yeah, we got to indict them white boys. They went a little too far this time. Too far? In the state of Mississippi? Whatever. Okay, so you didn't do that. Now here's the other problem. If the body is found, whether it's face up, face down, clothed or no clothes, on the side of the island, and you guys tell me that Horn Island is federal, well then, if she's a state DA for Jackson County, but this is on federal land, then that takes a federal prosecutor for a grand jury indictment, I thought. Or am I
only when there is an established crime. Right now, we're in this purgatory of, has a crime been committed? I believe once they come down on the side of foul play is what we believe happened, then I think the feds will enter and as they love to do, take over.
No, if it's on Horn Island, they're already in charge. If they say foul play,
but not if it's a drowning. If it's a drowning, they don't want anything to do with drowning.
If the body is found on Horn Island, that's federal land. They automatically have control.
Right, but I hear what you're saying. What I think you're saying, or what I'm understanding you, is they have control of a crime committed there. But do they have control of a drowning that occurred there?
Yes.
What's their control?
Because it's federal.
Right, but what's their control to announce that it's an accidental drowning?
They have to seek the grand jury. Look, I could be wrong. Because if the state says we're seeking a grand jury indictment after all the evidence is submitted, then you're saying that the foul play happened on land?
No, I don't think that's what. I think that's Crump once again using his tactics. First of all, is there a grand jury being assembled?
His exact words.
No, I know, but I know what his words were because this is what he does.
Okay.
And see, he's like, to me, a modern day Columbo sometimes. You ever watch Columbo?
Yeah.
And every murderer was like, this.
He doesn't know what he's doing, and then
catching me in this, and then he like, oh, just one more thing. Oh, you know what? Just one more thing. You know what?
Hey, I got a question though.
There was one more thing that I wanted to ask you, and then next thing you know, credits. They don't even cuff the people in Columbo. roll the credits.
Yeah.
Like we ain't wasting film, good film on the cuffing.
Okay.
We just, Columbo gonna ask that last question, and then we're gonna throw the credits up there and go to the next episode. So I think once a crime is established, because right now, what are you getting a grand jury for if it's a drowning? You're not.
That was going to take that. That was just going to be my question. That's why I say I got a question.
Yeah.
So if you got a grand jury, you looking to charge somebody?
Right.
That's
So that's why there is
no,
to my knowledge, there's no grand jury yet.
Right.
Because you got to fall down on a crime has been committed. Then you convene people for a grand jury and you start handing out indictments.
Because now you got a little, because now you're going to be like, well, who the suspects?
Right.
So it's a long ways before you get to a grand jury. You got to get suspects first.
And that's what Liberty's also saying. The answer is yes.
Yes.
See,
I just said this.
No, yes, you're right. You're right. He can't.
No. Every time I say something, he comes behind later like he didn't hear what I said.
He may not have.
He might be jumping from platform to platform.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
So when we're talking about the jurisdiction between state and federal, as I did a quick look at it, the federal government concede, defer, or coordinate authority with state officials, right? So they don't necessarily have to take over directly, especially in a case like this. With what Lynn is saying, if it's a drowning, there is nothing for them to take over. They can continue to cede authority to the state officials, right?
A drowning is beneath them.
So what I thought was jurisdiction for drowning. This is what, if you trust AI on this I don't, but on this particular matter on AI on Google search. Okay, no problem, Liberty Twitcher. I still don't know who you are. I still don't know who Liberty Twitcher is. So it says jurisdiction for a drowning on water near federal land depends on whether the federal property operates under exclusive or concurrent jurisdiction, and whether the water is legally considered a navigable waterway. In many cases, state and local authorities will lead to federal. So here, let me ask this other question. Y'all keep going. I'll ask again.
Did you call him Ben?
No, y'all go ahead. I'm gonna ask this person another question. And
gotcha.
So the answer to the
Maya's
second
question.
autopsy, to Maya's question, when she's asking was the autopsy inconclusive, the answer is yes. There wasn't enough information or body parts were missing that would have that the physician would have been able to go down on to get the answers, because the state is still holding on to those body parts.
But foul play cannot be ruled out.
Cannot be ruled out.
And then I read it again, and then it said it involves a coordinated effort between both federal and state, though primarily investigative jurisdiction usually falls to the local county sheriff's department. I fall back. Okay.
Yeah, it's concurrent jurisdiction, right?
Okay.
And if it comes out to being that there was foul play,
the jackets going to show up then.
The jackets will show up. Yeah,
that's when the jackets will show up.
Yeah, because now they're saying even for depth investigations, because Horn Island is federal property, the local county sheriff or Jackson County, because I was calling it Jefferson County, I was wrong. Jackson County Sheriff's Office, because of Jefferson City, Missouri.
Yep.
So Jackson County will act as a primary investigative agency. I think what I'm really upset about is, Mr. Trump, your English is horrible, but mine's no better on most words. But I can articulate whether I'm happy or whether I'm upset. No one doubts what I'm saying, and I'm quite clear. My thing is, you have a lot of black people who are uneducated, who don't know a damn thing, and they're relying on you to get justice for Christine and Elmore Wansley over Nolan Xavier Wells, their child. And when you're trying to play this cat and mouse game, these checkers, or playing this chess game with people who don't even respect you, I'm guessing I could be wrong, but going by historical evidence, Mississippi doesn't treat black people with fairness and respect. Well, when you're talking to black folks, trying to keep them inspired about this case, you have to be kind of transparent and open and honest. And when you leave out certain details, and then they run off on Facebook or other areas and they don't know what the hell they're talking about because you're misleading them, that's not helping our community. So when you come off that press conference, you need to be quite clear. An arrest could have been made without a grand jury indictment.
Multiple arrests could have been made without a grand jury.
That's
right? Everybody, I'll just say multiple arrests.
Multiple arrests because of reasonable suspicion could have been made. But in this case, I imagine there's not enough reasonable suspicion for the DA to make arrests or multiple arrests regarding the mysterious death of Nolan Xavier Wells. Stop right there. Point two. After talking with the DA and talking about the history of our life experiences,
and that's again, go ahead.
Life experiences. Once all the evidence is put together, the DA will send it to the grand jury to see if there's going to be an indictment. He doesn't say she's going to submit to a grand jury where there could be possible for the grand jury to say, we have 12 jurors out of this many that's going to say, do the indictment, or there may be no indictment. Tell the whole truth or sit down and don't say shit. Because you got black folks thinking, yeah, they're going to go to the grand jury and then they're going to arrest somebody. No. But because Mr. Trump didn't give it to you straight, because he's trying to sell some tickets.
Yeah, he needs you to listen. He needs you to tune back in.
Golly, man,
he needs you to tune back in. If he give you everything today, you're not going to tune into his next one. You're like, oh, I already know everything. I ain't tuning into this one. So you got to keep tuning in to what he's got to say.
Black people on Facebook thinking this is going to be an harassment.
Yeah.
The white folks on Facebook, even the prejudiced ones and the racist ones, like, you're stupid. And you're right.
That's the
game.
That's
what got me inflamed.
That's the game.
You know why Jerome Powell didn't get a lot of coverage as the federal chair?
Fed chair.
Yeah, because he didn't have the show for everybody. Jerome Powell was a straight shooter. It was always about the numbers, and if it didn't make dollars, it didn't make sense, and he didn't waste a lot of airtime talking about anything surrounding it. Right? He made moves behind the scenes.
Right.
But he didn't waste a lot of airtime getting to the point.
You can put on a show and still. I did it. I know.
I'm not saying that you can't.
You can put on a show, tell the truth, and you can run out of office. But you can put on a show, tell the truth. Ben Crump, you've got a reputation. You've won cases in them before without even going to court by putting on a show. But in this particular case, this is different because you're taking on the state of Mississippi. You ain't just taking on Jackson County.
Let me say this, and then I'm gonna jump to Wig. When you were younger, which shows did you get drawn into more during the season? The show that gave you the plot and then it gave the resolution at the end, or the show that said on the next episode?
Hold on, to be continued.
Right?
Don't forget the ...
Yeah, gotta keep,
because I might not have tuned in with just to be continued, but once I saw the ...
Mr. Glass,
damn. When's the show coming on next week?
Exactly.
Hold on, I'm not dating Carrie Champion. I'm dating Shamika. I'm getting it tonight.
Yeah.
Okay. Carrie Champion be like, oh, you'll wait for a period of time to earn this. I'm dating Shamika. I'm finding out tonight what the game plan is. Okay?
I don't disagree with what you're saying and the sentiment behind it. What I am saying, however, is unfortunately, in all of these cases, and this is why I can't refute what y'all are saying about Brother Crump, is because you're spot on. There's a showmanship behind all of this at the expense of Black Americans, unfortunately,
Look, at the expense of the family.
at the expense of the family
At the
as well.
expense of the family.
Yeah,
He's dragging this out.
right. He's not a poor man, and he
No.
understands that there's a show to be had with this unfortunate situation. And the reason why we don't like it is because we understand that these are real people suffering in real life. It's not just a TV drama, and we need the truth. We need the truth.
That's not the point. The point is you can put on a damn show and still tell the truth, the whole transparent truth, and still put on a show. It's about your creative. You can be creative and put on a show and still be talking about the righteousness of God. Trust me, because the black minister, 52 weeks of the year, put on a show.
I'm not
Richard,
disagreeing with
will you come back next week?
Don't know.
That's what he wants.
Yeah.
He wants the ... If he gives you everything this episode, you may not watch next week because you're gonna be like, oh, it's gonna be a whole new story next week, and I don't even know if I want to get drawn in. But I did want to listen. I did want to bring you guys bring up a case in Mississippi.
Okay.
That just turned around. There was this woman, Tamisha Shelton, Mississippi mother of 4. She went to jail for over a dozen years because she was accused of killing her sister's boyfriend. And what got her out of jail was they found the sister's boyfriend's suicide note.
Oh, wow.
You know who had the note and didn't turn it in?
The sister.
Her attorney.
No way.
Her attorney.
Wow.
This is a real case. She was exonerated. Well, she was released from prison June 29th.
There's a black woman attorney on Facebook that said lawyers and judges prevent 90% of the truth, all the truth from getting inside the courtroom.
Yeah, because they got agendas. They got agendas.
And
the
then
judge is trying to climb.
Wait a minute. And then when you guys said, well, Richard, if you had an attorney, things would have been different. I said, no, they wouldn't. Because I'm fighting the system.
But then I asked you if you had Johnny Cochran. and you stayed on that hill.
That's
listen, I understand what you're saying because, like I said, I've lived it. The right attorney makes all the difference. Because if I didn't have, shout out to Richard Harris in Philadelphia, PA. If I didn't have Richard Harris, beside me, who would tell me, he told me all the time, "You're lucky you didn't get indicted," and I kept saying back to him, "Luck. I didn't do it," but he was telling me and showing me that didn't matter.
But my thing is, because you had a great attorney, this is why I was complaining and bitching about Dr. Biden not being selected when he had been selected by Ben Crump before or by the families before. This man's track record is impeccable. You need the most incredible. You need a dream team because you're fighting the state of Mississippi. You ain't fighting just possible corruption in Jackson County. That's going to go to the chief medical examiner, Dr. Stacy Turner. Her track record with young black men. Okay, it's horrendous.
So I did look up the difference between the two positions that we were in question, and the biggest difference is the years. While Dr. Baden has been in the profession for only over 50 years, Dr. Mitchell has been in 20 plus, right? And so I can't disagree with what you're saying about the best of the best, because I personally believe that experience is the difference between winning and losing. So that I can't disagree with what you're saying about having the best of the best. Because of his experience, it would take him over the top of getting things done, narrowed down and looked at. But Wig, I wanted to jump back down to you, man. We didn't forget about you.
No, I'm here, man. I'm here. You know what? When you guys were talking earlier, I'm on like, did they take pictures and stuff when they found his body?
Yep. Yes, they did.
They did.
And they did not submit those pictures with the body to Dr. Mitchell. And Dr. Mitchell didn't turn around and call immediately and say, "Send me those pictures along with the missing throat."
But shouldn't the coroner have him in Mississippi?
Yes.
And the sheriff's department.
Okay. Okay.
I'm just you try to you I don't know. Sometimes we try to give people the benefit of the doubt, but for me, it all went wrong for him when he got on the boat.
Yeah.
That's where it went wrong for me. Everything after that was downhill. Everything after that was planned. Whether it was a ritual or whatever they was doing, it was some type of a plan. The only one that didn't know about it was him. So it's about the cover up now.
Well,
That's
now
just me.
the good news, Wig, is that when you have that kind of a scenario, somebody's gonna crack.
Yeah.
Somebody gonna get arrested. Somebody gonna find Jesus. Somebody gonna tell their mistress. That's what always happens when you have a bunch of people in a crime. In a crime.
But the crazy part about the crazy.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. The crazy part about that is you gotta want to find the person that did it.
Mm-hmm.
That's where it started right there.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Like I said, it is. I feel sorry for the family. And as far as being Crump, listen, if you let he been talking crazy ever since Trayvon. He's a lawyer. Yes, he's a lawyer. But I would never depend on being Crump to put a full sentence in place for me.
Y'all on my man's speech, man. Goodness.
And listen, it's true, but he's better than that government person on the other side of that.
Oh no. I'm definitely done. I mean, he's definitely even though he's getting something out of it,
Right.
he I would pray that he definitely has their best interest at heart. Do he put on a show sometime? Yeah,
Yep.
he never really shied away from a camera. I give him that. He ain't shied away from a camera. But at the same time, when they prosecuting us, they don't shy away from cameras either.
And I feel like the reason why Mississippi is holding their cards close to their vests
Yes.
is because of his showmanship.
Yes. Yes. I agree with you on that. But again, as LaMarie said, tell the truth. You can still put on an exciting show, but tell the truth and don't mislead people and don't let black people go off with little bits of information without having a full concept of what could and could not happen. And the second thing is this: all of the great black men and women orators in our history of America, and it ain't just Malcolm X, it ain't just Dr. King, it ain't just the Honorable Louis Farrakhan, it's not just Reverend Al Sharpton or the incredible Reverend Jesse Jackson. They're not the only ones. Because you got black preachers every Sunday that get up in the black churches and will lay you out. I can think of T.D. Jakes. I can think of Reverend Creflo Dollar. They will lay you out, whether you like it or not. And they can have their Southern accent, their East Coast Philly accent, that West Coast no accent, but they can give it to you. And that's why I get a little upset. Because Benjamin Trump, you come from black folks. When we want to articulate and give it to you, whether we cussing, whether we rapping about it, whether we singing soulfully or through pop music, we can give it to you. And you are not doing it. You're not giving it right.
So let me answer Maya's question. Let me go back up and highlight it again. Because I was thinking about this also. That would be a horrible mistake for the state to make, because these are still DNA samples that are tied to these remains and the organs of our late nephew, Nolan Wells. And if that becomes an inconsistency with what has already been filed at the second autopsy, then it seriously degrades the trust, confidence, and competence of that state physician. Now, there was a video that I sent of a Mississippi former judge, I believe he is, to our group,
Yeah.
right? And he already began to lay out, which is why I was like, I'm going to dig in to this DA and look some stuff up. But he has already said, right, that there was a plethora
Reasonable cause.
yeah,
Reasonable
of
cause.
evidence to indict, and she still went against what should have happened.
Judge Matt, who's the brother?
Indict who though?
We don't know.
He was talking about a different case. He was
Oh,
talking
okay.
Yeah, he was when he was a practicing attorney, right? He had presented evidence, hard evidence to her.
No, I seen him say that there was enough evidence on this case to indict.
Yeah, he said that also. But
Indict who though, Richard?
Huh?
Indict who?
He said one or the three boys. He said there's enough evidence to indict the boys because they were the last ones, and there was reasonable suspicion to believe that they may have done something. He said that Judge Matthew, what's the brother's name? Judge Mathis. He also said that, but these are retired judges, so they don't, they're
yeah.
not
But you know what? I hear that, but to me, it sounds like they wanted to go a certain way, and I want it to be an accidental drown. I do, and but I tell you what, I feel like blood alcohol content
that should have been tested.
Is about to enter the conversation.
That was one of the first things that I wanted to bring up when we began to talk about this situation, because everybody involved should have been taken to the station and been tested that very night for blood alcohol levels.
Here's the problem. When they had the party and everybody was yelling and somebody said, "Give me my freaking phone," that was Nolan. I don't care what
the other dude said that was him. Tristan said that was him, not Nolan.
Yeah, Tristan also said he was the best friend, and then Christine Walmsley said, "Dude, I don't even know you."
How many of them showed up to the funeral?
Jay Bond, I think Jay Bond.
How many of the white boys on the boat?
Yeah,
none of them.
Exactly.
I thought the one that interviewed with
Warren Hudson.
I thought he was there.
No, Warren Hudson.
I thought I heard him say he was there.
Wait a minute. If I'm wrong, then I'll apologize.
No, I don't. See, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think
I'm on the record as I don't know if he was there, but I thought so. I heard him say that to Officer Tatum, but I could be wrong.
Okay, no, you may be right. Here's what I do know about telling the truth. Don't come talking about white folks and all the lies and manipulations they've done if your ass ain't no better. That closed casket tells me that body wasn't even in that casket. See? And I knew that the body wouldn't be in the casket, and I knew the casket would be closed. Now, I'm guessing, because I have no evidence to say that the body wasn't in the casket. But my gut tells me that body was not in the casket. In fact, you know when they have these big, massive funerals, before they have the repast, they make the long parade to the cemetery. And you will see with the white folks, long live the Irish, playing on bagpipes. And if a policeman gets shot in the line of duty, they're playing on bagpipes, they're hitting that salute. It's raining. It's always raining. And they drop that body into the ground and they shoot them guns. And they'll let you know.
Give a flag.
So-and-so to the wife, Officer so-and-so, you'll never be forgotten. And they drop you in the ground. But you didn't see that shit with Nolan Wells.
I didn't watch it on purpose.
Yeah, I didn't watch
the funeral. Yeah,
I didn't watch it.
So I was watching.
I saw the clips, but I didn't watch it.
Yeah, so I was watching it because I wanted to hear how they talked. So sometimes when you argue with people who you know are prejudiced against you, sometimes they're gonna have some points that they're right on. Sometimes, and in this case, it's the lack of sincerity. And that's what I think I heard over. If I believe in something, I'm going to be sincere about it, even when I'm wrong. So, Mr. Crump, you finished law school. I don't have a law degree. You passed the bar in multiple states. I didn't do that. So you're well accomplished. But some of the basic, simple things in life about being truthful and sincere, you cannot do. You're lacking in those areas. And then you want to talk about, you want to represent the community?
La Marie, Stephanie is fine. She's I have her on a mission with the new client that we're working with, but she's fine. I'll tell her that you asked about.
Because and here's the problem. We can't even guarantee that another situation of a young black man. See, this is why I was so upset with Lynn about the boycott. When black folks don't fit about the Voting Rights Act, Section 2.
Oh,
when black, and so me and Lynn were arguing about. I said, none of you black folks, none of you black boys play for those southern schools. Okay, so Lynn said, no, Richard, can't do that. I said, okay.
No, you can do that, but what I was just setting your expectation that it ain't gonna happen as a rule. It may happen as an exception.
No,
but it ain't gonna happen as a rule because we back to money.
Right, but let me tell you how this comes full circle. You were right, but as long as I can drag your ass, call you the N-word, quote thug, and treat you any kind of way, and I know you will continue to play sports for me to entertain me. While your other dream, your aspiration is to call each other the N-word and demonize black men and women, I got you right where I want.
Yeah, but now you gotta pay me. And listen. So I have a cousin. They're twins. One's still playing at UCF, and one is now actually he's in my business now. So I'm mentoring him, which I know I'm going to be successful with that. But I had to school him on NIL. Do you know where NIL was born, Richard?
The South? Temple.
California.
Oh, I ain't surprised.
And you know who was at the head of that?
Don't say Gavin Newsom.
Gavin Newsom. Gavin Newsom passed the law.
There went the conversation. Go ahead.
Gavin Newsom passed a law that said California athletes were to be paid for their name, image, and likeness. Okay. So once he did that, hold on.
Okay, go ahead.
Once he did that, the NCAA had no choice but to open it up across the country, because if not, everybody would have played where? In California. Because that's the only place that you could play and get paid. So Gavin Newsom was the one that started NIL.
Right. So great for Gavin. I'll never vote for Gavin Newsom for any office. And even though you don't have sports gambling here in the state of California, thanks to Gavin. But a side note. Now, these same black boys who went to this funeral, who played on the sports team at Mississippi Southwest Community College, you're going to go right back to practice. Know damn well that something mysterious happened. And maybe you know, but you ain't running your mouth about it. And the rest of you black boys in the state of Mississippi playing for, Ole Miss,
Mississippi State.
Is Ole Miss, University of Mississippi, is that Ole Miss?
Yeah.
Okay. So Ole Miss, Mississippi State, you will continue to put on a show like Ben Crump.
And you'll tune in next week.
And that tells the white folks, we can kill you, drag you, if there was foul play, we can do whatever we want to you. And you'll continue to take your black ass out there and play basketball, football that I allow you to play because these Yankees
pay me.
Because these Yankees made me pay you.
Before Gavin, what you're saying was real strong. But now that you got to pay a brother, it's different. That changes the conversation.
I'm only paying my property. Listen to this. Hold on, Mr. Medeiros. I'm only paying my life insurance on this chattel property because these other ignorant ass white people are making me pay for it. Not because I want to. How's that?
Yeah. But I ain't playing for you. And see, listen, what this does for the black athlete in the SEC, which I don't know if you heard, but they were talking about secession this week at their annual meeting. Imagine that. Not going to happen. But anyway, at least I don't believe it'll happen. But anyway, now a black athlete in Mississippi State or Ole Miss has the added leverage of saying, and all that stuff to be going on down here in Mississippi, my family really don't want me to play here. And then that all of a sudden those stacks get higher and higher and higher. The quarterback for Ole Miss is a black brother, Chambliss, who had to fight tooth and nail for this 6th year.
Again, when you are willing to be paid at the expense of Christine Wansley's son, Nolan Xavier Wells, from Seeking Justice, I can't get down like that. I'm sorry, you can't pay me.
I know.
You can't pay me.
But you're the exception. The rule is I'm gonna get paid.
Well,
because I don't believe Nolan Wells would have not got paid for me. And that's a real thing. I didn't know Nolan. I didn't know Nolan, and Nolan didn't know me. Yep. So I don't believe he would have did this for me. And then you have the person who says, I believe he would have did this for me, but I'ma still get paid.
Yeah.
Got that person too.
Did you know what, Mr. Medeiros?
And hold on. What happened to Ryan Clark this week?
Oh, you know he was getting fired. Oh, you knew that.
No, but guess who was the one that was talking about what you're talking about? He was the one, and see, they don't talk. See, you know what they went to? They went to some damn argument back in September of last year.
Yeah, Schrager.
That ain't what got him fired. That SEC boycott nonsense is the reason, but you can't say that.
That's right.
So they pull out this tape because he went in on dude because he never played, right? But then later that day, he apologized publicly and privately. And his apology was the kind of apology that you want. He said what he said was wrong. He said he was sorry for it. Right. And he was going to raise his level of professionalism to make sure that it never happened again. That is the ideal apology.
Correct.
But that is what people are using to justify him being fired. Something from September of last year.
So Lynn.
But what it is
Lynn,
the boycott.
Oh, Lynn, remember I tell you, James, I said, when me and Lynn agree too often, you know how tough it is? I won't say how bad it is.
People lose the show, Jay. The people
Listen, by him saying that, and he's right, because actually the conversation with Ryan Clark went way back before then. So he said some stuff about black folks, and he was being pro-black. And I said, oh, you won't last long on ESPN. He's been saying it for years.
He also said Tom Brady was not a generational talent.
Cut him. So
get rid of him now.
So he's messing up the ad money. He's messing up the ad money. He's messing up everything. You know,
he how he made 11 years is beyond me. Because I never thought he was the best analyst. I thought Sterling Sharp, that cat was phenomenal.
But you know what? Ryan got 3 Emmys.
Okay.
He got 3 Emmys.
He
got fired during the show that he just won an Emmy on.
Yeah.
Live.
During the show.
Yeah. That's highly disrespectful. But this goes back to you don't have no black community. Because when the kid says, well, I'm not going to boycott in honor of Nolan Xavier Wells to get justice, then that tells white America we can say anything we want to you, but you will continue to do what we ask you to do. But we have to pay you a few dollars, and it's not like you have a long-term mindset coming from the ghetto or from the country where you know about establishing long-term perpetual wealth, because you're not going to pass it down. You're not. Because you weren't trained to do that, because your environment is based on a short-term, day-to-day mindset. So it doesn't matter how much money I pay you, you'll never be a business owner. You'll never be long-term. You'll never be a standout. And if you are successful like Terrell Owens and really hardcore, we'll call you crazy and diminish you because you didn't go to the Hall of Fame, because you didn't do like we told you to do.
He went to the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. But
he wasn't the first ballot.
Right, but he didn't go to the actual induction. He did it on his own platform.
Right.
So
because he was pouting like a kid.
Oh,
and
that's fine.
That hurt him.
Well, wait a minute. That's fine. But my thing is, Terrell, you showed up for Nolan Xavier Wells, but I didn't see Michael Irvin show up. But I'll see Michael Irvin at any Dallas football game or Miami Hurricane acting a fool. But you didn't show up for this with Terrell. Now you and Turl, y'all Southern boys. Dion, y'all Southern boys. I mean, y'all deep South.
Right.
And y'all should be sticking together on this. So if Turl was going and Shannon Sharp, you backed up Turl about not going to the Hall of Fame. You had his back on that situation. I wanted to see you and Dion and Michael Irvin also have Turl's back on this Nolan Xavier Wells, because that says something.
Yeah.
I'll stop preaching.
I agree. And you know what? When Bill Belichick didn't get the first ballot,
crazy,
which he deserves.
Yes.
For his accomplishments with the Patriots.
Right.
I ain't gonna hate. Now, for me, he'll never be the best coach ever because he cheated. And he got caught cheating. So, no, just like when I have the running back conversation, I'm a Cowboy, so of course I'm leaning towards Emmitt Smith, but I can't put Barry Sanders above Emmitt Smith because he quit.
Dipset, yeah.
Because he quit. Same thing with Jim Brown. Jim Brown was a great running back, but I can't put him at the top because you quit. Anybody who quits, to me, you're automatically out of the conversation, no matter what you achieved. That's just me. Barry Sanders, great running back, but he quit. I got the same rules for Calvin Johnson. Great wide receiver, but he quit. Notice they both quit on the same team.
But Benjamin Crump quit a long time ago, but still acting like he cares.
Who'd he quit on?
The black community. That's who he quit on. So
no, you know what? Officer Tatum told him he has never showed up for a black-on-black situation, and the woman that he said that to instantly pulled out a receipt. And the white interviewer and Officer Tatum are both now lockstep backing up like cornerbacks. Oh,
who was the black on black? Who was the black on black that Crump showed up for?
It was that woman. I've had her in the chat. It's the woman who said, "I'm gonna answer the question the way I want to answer the question."
Ooh.
Her
she's strong.
Cousin or nephew was in that situation, and Ben showed. It was black on black, and Ben showed up.
She's the one that got into it with
Officer Tatum.
Leland Bittert on News Nation.
Yeah,
she ain't nobody fool. Yeah, see, this is the thing. When you go after some black people, I can think of Roland Martin. I look at Charles Blow, Keith Boykin. When you come for them, get ready.
Isaiah, what's his name?
Martin.
Yeah,
not Martin. Is it Martin?
No.
Roland Martin.
But the smooth brother with the beard,
the young brother.
He never gets elevated. He just keeps hitting you with the question. And look.
The writer?
No. He's on Twitter.
I'll send you some clips. But
he's smooth with it.
My God,
he's smooth with it. He got all the facts, he got all the receipts, and he just be slaughtering folks. He takes all comers.
Right. Yeah.
He takes all comers. He is very prepared to go at you.
But
and he'll just give you the rope. Really?
But you know what? Look, the big deal about when they talk about racism will never end in this country. And see, I say this, but the black ministers will never say it. When you have a group of people who converted to being Jewish and practice Judaism and refer to themselves as the children of God, that's actually your second problem. But when you go to the Vatican, the head of Christianity, the Catholic Church, when you go to the Sistine Chapel, and you see those, and I mean a work, Michelangelo, you did that work. The angels and God and Jesus, and they're portrayed as being white. Until you tear that shit down and say that's an abomination and it violates the commandments, then white people will always believe that God and the angels are white and that they are above everyone else. And that will never end until this whole world blows up in smoke. And that's why racism will never end, ever. Because when the first people on earth were black people, and how do you know? Because we carry the superior gene, and our skin radiates from the light as Lynn all the way down to my ass, and a shade darker, the Sudanese Nubian dark. Okay, we're everything. But white people overall, consciously and subconsciously, will never admit that God created black people first, and that Jesus was a black man. And that's something they can never accept. Even the Muslims, the original Muhammad,
Right.
some folks were black. Now, some of the Muslims may admit it. Most of them will kind of sidestep it. So this idea of racial supremacy by white folks comes from their nationalized Christianity in a multitude of versions. So you may have a Stephen Miller type version. You may have a what's that Nick Fuentes type version. You may have the Catholic Church version. You have all these different versions of white supremacy. You can't overcome that until the end of time.
Well, let's go around the horn. Let's get around the horn. I gotta be up at about 5 in the morning.
Yep, sounds good. Sounds good.
So let's get to it. Rich, you
all
up
right?
first.
So I'll be quick. I've been emotional tonight because I'm upset at Ben Crump. But today's July 22nd, 2026. I'll keep it very short, and I'll let Lynn and Jay Glass finish this night out. Thank you very much.
Lynn.
Yeah. All right. So we had a lively discussion tonight. As always, I learned some things because I can't be everywhere all at the same time. So I like to, kick it with you guys so I can, increase my my knowledge. But getting back to the heart of the matter this evening, I'm still hoping and praying that this Nolan Wells situation just turns out to be an accidental drowning. But as it drags out, you can see where if there is some conspiracy or nefarious things going on, you've been giving no information to squash that belief. Like if you're on that conspiracy, murder, Wig is talking rituals, all of that stuff is in play, unfortunately. And I'm just hopeful that we get the truth, and that the truth is that this young man died accidentally. I think the blood alcohol content readings, because one of the things that when Jay Glass was talking about, they all should have been tested for their alcohol level immediately. Unfortunately, that was never going to happen. The only one who retained their level of alcohol consumption is the dead body.
Yeah.
Everybody else, by the time that body was found, even if they had alcohol in their system, it could have been from another part, right? Because they left in the afternoon. They probably, was out doing more stuff that evening, and then the next day, and then Monday, you find the body. His BAC is intact in his skin, in his DNA, and all that stuff. Theirs is long gone. So if it becomes he was drunk, then it was he drowned accidentally. And we're a year and 2 days removed from Malcolm Jamal Warner's death, which happened on the 20th and was reported on the 21st. And now I'm having conversations with my clients about the fact that his wife is suing the mom.
Yeah, I saw that.
Because the mom has a family trust that was established in 96. And the stuff that Malcolm promised his wife, he died suddenly and didn't fulfill those promises. So now the widow is suing the mom for $1.2 million. And I think she's going to be on one of those morning shows tomorrow. Good Morning America or Today or whatever. So we're about to get some stuff from that. But that goes into, just things happen. And nobody questioned Malcolm Jamal Warner's death. He drowned. He drowned. Pull him out the water dead. He drowned. He's with his wife and his kids and whoever. Now we have this gentleman hanging with his friends, because with all of us being military, I had every type of friend you could one of my best friends while I was serving was a Korean dude, and I'll never forget. He took me to his house one weekend, and he had his sister was drop dead gorgeous, and the way he talked to his sister, I almost wanted to fight him. But it was sibling stuff.
Yeah.
But I was like, yo, Cole, chill on her, man. She's so nice. His mom didn't speak English, but she treated me like I was royalty. We left his room like a hurricane hit it. When we came back later that night, all of my stuff was folded, pressed at the edge of the bed like she was in the military. But funny conversation. So my Korean friend loved blonde girls. So I'm in the back seat with him. His dad, who owned 2 or 3 Korean restaurants. You know what he told his son? He said, "You have fun with those blonde girls right now. But if you don't marry a Korean woman,
this on your ass.
You ain't getting these restaurants."
Yep.
And he said it in English. He could have said that in Korean to him. He said that in English so I could hear it.
He said
And I was like, and look, so Ho knew the deal. I keep saying his name, my bad. He knew the deal.
Yeah.
He knew the deal. So he kept hitting his Beckies. But guess what he didn't do? He didn't marry one of them. So this stuff that we talk about, this happens in every culture, every family to differing degrees, because I don't mind his Korean father wanting to have Korean grandbabies, and leave his legacy of restaurants to his Korean son. I don't have any. Look, that's what we should do more of that.
Absolutely.
We should do more of that. But I had Hispanic friends, I had white friends that I went places, crazy places with. Tijuana with all white boys. And I don't know if you know the rules about Tijuana, but you only allowed there between 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
Right.
Huh.
So after 8 p.m., guess what you got to do?
Cross back.
Oh, you can't.
You stuck.
You got to hang out all night, player. That's what you got to do. And once again, here's the game. So Jay, if I'm crossing the border at 8:05 a.m., where was I?
Oh, I know where you were. I know where
I was in Tijuana after, when I shouldn't have been.
Hours, yep.
But as long as I cross between 8 a.m. and 8 p.m., the MPs didn't say a word. But they know. But I'm playing the game. Had I crossed back over at 9 p.m., trouble. And everybody knew the rules. That and don't go to the donkey show.
Don't go to the donkey show.
Because your people is in there waiting for you to go into the donkey show so they can write your ass up. So don't go to the donkey show. But I'm
not going to ask what the donkey show is. I don't want to know.
You know what the donkey show is, Richard?
We'll talk about it in text.
I don't want to know.
But don't go.
I don't want to know.
And I don't know about you, Jay, but I never went.
I never went.
It sounds like something from of the movie Godfather 2.
No. What a horse head in the bed was Godfather 1.
Yeah,
no, but the Godfather 2, when they went down to Cuba, and Michael found out that his brother knew the little gangster that Fredo was hustling, because he said he didn't know the gangster, but he actually did because they went to a show.
Look at Liberty Twitcher
on the
ping pong show.
The ping pong. Yeah,
now I can only imagine what that is.
Okay. Yeah,
I'm guessing it's a lady with a certain set of skills. With ping pong balls and eggs and
a table ain't involved. A table is not involved.
Okay.
There's no opponents.
All right.
No paddles, no paddles, and no net.
All right.
But my point is, I've been blessed to have significant friendships from all races, and what's occurring in this Nolan Wells situation is a reason why I would never want to live in the South. Like Houston is not the South. If it was, I wouldn't live here. Houston, they speak over 140 languages. That Houston is diversity personified. It could be one day the third largest city in America. Right now, sitting at fourth, but it's the only city that can continue to grow out.
Yeah.
Chicago can't do that.
Not enough land. Yeah.
LA can't really do that.
They
New York can't possibly do that. But Houston is the only one that can continue to just
the landmass. Yeah.
Yeah, and grow out and it can grow up. Yeah. So I'm blessed to have lived a life where I've been exposed to different walks of life, different cultures. Learn other people's game. You talked about code switching. Some black people think we're the only ones that code switch. No. What if you're Hispanic and English is not spoken in your house, but you work in corporate America?
Wow.
You code switching every day.
Yep.
Every single day that you go to work. Because ain't nobody trying to hear Spanish from you at the job. And ain't nobody trying to hear English from you at the crib.
Yeah.
So that's why I always ask people to open up your mind to the possibility that, all of us have this stuff. I remember I was hiring an Indian kid and I was asking him about talking to his parents, friends, and family. And he was like, oh, my parents' friends won't help me. I said, why not? He said, because in our culture, you never want your kid to do better than another kid. You never want another kid to do better than your kid.
Right.
So his parents' friends who have kids aren't going to help him launch his financial services career. And he was right. I saw it. I witnessed it.
This is Indian?
He was Indian. He was Indian. And good guy, came from money, but he just couldn't branch out from that situation. So I had to eventually had to let him go. But I still, with all the warts that the United States has on it, I still know and believe, since I've been to enough places, to enough continents. When I worked in Nigeria, they told me I wasn't black.
Mm.
And then at the same time, when I gave them an order, they told me they had to hear from a white man. And I was the president of the company. So I've seen it. I've seen it every which way. Well, not every which way, but 90%, 90+%. Because there's probably something I can still learn out there. But I've seen so much to know that the United States of America is the greatest country. It's not great, but it's the greatest country in the world, in my opinion. With all the warts, with the racial property, slavery foundation all baked in there for 250 years. It's still the best in my book.
I agree with that.
I
agree with that. Yeah.
I like the way you frame that. I like the way you frame that. I was laughing at Navi over here on TikTok because she was putting some information in the chat, and I wish she would come over to the platform one day and join us on here because I think she'd have a different perspective to add, and it'd be very insightful. So
why won't she join us?
She's usually over here on TikTok. That's the only reason why I know off the top of my head. No different. Yeah, Navi, why don't you come over here and join us? You're always invited. I keep telling people. But Richard, you said something that I have been saying for a long time now, and I appreciated hearing you say it. And you were talking about entertainment, and looking at a quick definition of entertainment, it is anything intended to provide amusement, interest, or diversion to an audience. Entertainment is anything intended to provide entertainment, amusement, interest, or diversion to an audience. I was on just browsing through TikTok early this morning. I'm an insomniac. I don't sleep well at all. If I get 4 hours of sleep, I'm great. Um, and I started stumbling across these different arguments that we are having in the community that I don't see happening in other spaces. And maybe it's because my algorithm doesn't take me there, or maybe they have it in a different area. Oh, Navi said, yeah, and she works late sometimes. But the conversations that I'm hearing in our spaces are, hey, what's going on, Mikey? He said start over. Hey, shout out
we only 2 hours and 40 minutes in. We can start over.
Right. Shout out to the Ben podcast, hosted and owned by Mikey Famine. Make sure you go and check that out as well.
Was he at the conference? Was he at the conference today?
Oh my God!
Listen,
not the press conference, the NAACP conference.
No, I don't think he was.
That's not a Democratic socialist type stage.
We would have seen him run up to the stage and be like, "Hey, shut up, Ben. We just want to hear what needs to be said." But let me pause in place to again shout out the Ben podcast and the with Mikey Famine, as well as the watch list with J.R. Jackson. Make sure you all go and you watch both of those podcast platforms. They're both amazing in their own right. But
Glad put the links in our group chat.
Okay, I will. I definitely will. Thanks. Oh no, nursing a pinched nerve. Yikes. But entertainment is anything intended to provide enjoyment, amusement, interest, or diversion to an audience, right? And going back to these conversations that I'm hearing in these social media places, these echo chambers, as it were, because none of them really like to actually have diverse discussion. And as soon as you begin to disagree with them and you give your evidence, they block you. But I came to another conclusion. It's not another conclusion. It's the same conclusion, and it's a painful conclusion. And I keep coming to it, and I keep testing it because I'm hoping that we move this measure away from us, and we're taken differently. We have to, as Black people in America, stop simply being entertainment. We can't simply settle to be the entertainment branch of our society. We have to be the owners. We have to be the developers. And we are that. We absolutely are that. But that's not the story or the narrative that's being told and sold. We're being told, packaged, and put out as a product of entertainment. And what I have to make sure I say and I sound the alarm on is that it's not white people doing it to us. It's us. And I've said these things before. I hope we get out here in these social media places and spaces and in real life, and we begin to boycott these FBA conversations. I hope we begin to boycott these platforms that continue to diminish Black love and pit Black men and Black women against each other as if we are animalistic in nature and that's all we are. As if we don't have the propensity and the capacity and bandwidth to love each other. As if two brothers can't form a strong bond of brotherhood and love each other and respect each other and want each other to do better. As if a Black man and a Black woman can't engage with each other in a positive manner without being in competition with each other. It's becoming disgusting. Our children are dying. Policies are being written to displace us. Our national savings is going through the floor. Our ability to bury our own is becoming once again a form of entertainment through GoFundMe. We've minimized ourselves to these spaces, and it pains me. Because as soon as we begin to advocate for each other, as soon as we begin to take each other seriously, we have somebody else who pops up to create a diversion and once again become a form of entertainment. We're better than that. You make it hard, the people who are platforming this to make money, Officer Tatum. You make it hard to be taken. And I said this once before, and I'll say it again. I'd rather people think of me as a threat than a joke. Think of me as a threat and not a joke. Nobody takes a joke seriously. Nobody's guarding themselves against a joke. Nobody is putting up safeguards in their family and locking their doors because a comedian or there's a joke being told. But as a threat, oh, now you gotta do some shit. You've got to do some shit. Take me as a threat. For everybody who was participating in a serious manner and fashion and pushing this pseudo narrative, this fictitious misnoming, this atrocious entertainment of Black people that are Black people, shame on you. And I hope you're not able to rest well at night. And I hope any monies that you make from this burn a hole in your pocket and you fall into debt. You're not doing us a service. The midterms are coming up. Instead of talking about people going and registering for voting, you're talking about what a Black woman brings to a table. Shame on you. Instead of saying, hey, we are dissatisfied with the showmanship of Ben Crump when it comes to the second autopsy of our late nephew, Nolan Wells, you are talking about what Black men provide. Shame on you. We've got to do better. And if you hear this and you get pissed off of it, pissed off because of it, good, because I'm talking to you. And I will continue to talk to you. Platform getting life insurance. Platform why it's okay to say good morning. Platform why it's okay to tell a sister who's not smiling, hey sister, you still beautiful today. Platform that shit. Stop being a diversion and a distraction and a reason why we're not taken seriously.
Yeah.
So that's my around the horn. So
hey Jay Glass.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was done.
I had one of those things I didn't want to slide out because I learned this today. I don't think we've ever talked about it, but when you said midterms, it popped up in my head. Something that we should start to proliferate as time goes on through the election cycle is if the SAVE Act does become a reality, it doesn't affect you if you are already registered to vote. It only affects you if you make some kind of change, which could be as simple as an address change. But if you are going to be where you at in November, you good. You don't have to do nothing as far as, because I was worried about that. Like, damn, I got to do I have to find my birth certificate? Will my passport be, I'm going through all these gyrations. So I just finally looked it up and my research has uncovered, and I think we need to, absolutely. I'm sure there are people out there that are saying, damn, that are worried about this. Because that's the Trump game.
Yep.
Once you're worried about it, so you'd have people that were cool to vote, not vote, because they didn't jump through the SAVE Act hurdles.
Yeah.
And I don't want to see that happen. So we need to get the word out that register to vote before that becomes a law. And if you are currently already registered, You good for the midterms.
Yep, I'm glad you said that, because next week we'll jump back to politics. If there's something that develops with Nolan Wells, we'll pause and place so we can jump back to this, because this is one of the things that has to be at the focal point of what's going on in our discussions.
Trust and believe the Mississippi coroner's report is coming out by Friday.
I hope so.
Hold on, with BAC?
Yeah, we'll see.
I think it will.
I hope so.
Wait a minute.
If that BAC is over
the toxicology, the Mississippi coroner's report is already done. They want the toxicology report about alcohol and drugs.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
But alcohol is easy. See, with drugs, you got to first drugs and then what drugs.
Yeah.
Right.
But BAC, don't take that long.
Nope.
The BAC could be ready by Friday.
Yeah, and
if it's over 0.08, you know what the other side is going to be saying.
Oh goodness!
Oh, he was drunk, fell off the boat, hit his head.
Drowned.
Look, he was on one. He was on that. Look, he was on that red boat that they had just painted.
No,
he fell off. That's where he got that red stuff on the back of his head. He fell off that boat that just got painted red.
No, it's not going to be that simple.
Because it
won't be. But this is what we get ready for.
Yeah, but they said he never left on the boat with them. He stayed back at the island. Well,
I'm talking about a different boat, a boat with a red stripe on it. You know, this is where it's gonna go.
Yeah, they plan to
some boat we ain't seen on no videos.
Right.
Some boats that they painted red on the island. They got there 8 a.m. and they painted the boat red right there.
Oh,
he fell off that boat.
If Katie
hit his head and drowned.
If Katie McCormick wants to go and do an interview, she can feel free to contact me at 408-207-2339. And I will
she will do the interview with Officer Tatum.
Listen, I will cape up. No, she won't. I will cape up for Katie. And by the time they win the lawsuit money, she can be able to buy her 2 new identities and keep it real.
Yeah. I also wanted to make this statement also. Interracial dating. When I talk about that, let me be specific. I have a couple, a friendship with a couple that I absolutely adore. They're in an interracial relationship, and I thought about something, and I had to pull myself out of a space. Just because you marry somebody outside of the definition of race doesn't mean you can't be pro-Black.
Nope, not at all.
And I wanted to make sure I said that.
You will get an argument from Black folks on that.
And they can kiss my ass.
Your Black ass?
All of it.
He ain't got no black ass. He got red ass. Listen. You know what? This has been a long night. That is a deep. Because I feel the same way. Because I've dated many old white girls, but they knew going in, oh God, it's gonna be a ride with this one.
Hey,
but
and it just might, right? But all I'm saying is that is not an expression of you not loving your people. That just simply means you love who you love.
And I'll go back and say this: just because you listen to rap music and you say you're for the culture, don't mean shit to me. Until I see you on that jury pool, looking me dead in my face, and taking a good look at the evidence and saying they ain't got enough, get your ass away from me. I ain't thinking about you. I'm thinking about you the way you think about me. I'm not. I think about, in fact, I'm thinking about you the way white folks think about us. Not. Well, until election time.
With that being said, I got an early morning, folks. It was a great conversation. I really thoroughly enjoyed listening to what you both had to say and the contributions you all had, and I hope everybody else did as well. So as always, y'all could have been anywhere else in the world, but you decided to hang out with us, and we absolutely appreciate that from you. Make sure you go check out the watch list with J.R. Jackson. You go check out the Ben podcast with Mikey Famine, and Thank y'all for coming out. God bless and
Good
good
night.
night.